All right, and we're all here. Well, not all of us are here, but everyone
So
who's
In
gonna
fact, we
be
are
is
missing
here.
someone.
If you've been following this podcast, this is episode 4. We are missing a member. Will is not with us today, unfortunately. He couldn't make it, but you know what? That's okay,
The show
cause
goes on.
the show must go on. You know how it is. But the three of us, we're gonna make it happen, and
we got to keep it moving.
we gotta keep it moving. And
Show goes on.
you know, there's plus and downsides to not having Will. One plus side would be that there's a couple of things that all three of us have in common that Will doesn't, that we might be able to talk about while he's not here.
No, you can't get mad at us.
You can't get mad at us, but as we know, Will, very cool guy. We're all gamers, we're all college students, but one thing that Will is not is a fucking weeb. All right, Will is cooler than us. All right, y'all don't
Well,
understand.
Cooler.
If you want to call it that, right?
He hangs around us, man. I don't know
He
about
does.
him.
I don't know. He got stuck with us somehow. But yes, Will does not watch anime, and I think that is something we all enjoy very much, and I think a lot of people watching would also kind of enjoy. Gamers and weebs kind of go hand in hand sometimes. A lot of the time, I'd like to say. And yeah, let's just get talking about it.
Hey, Derek,
Hold on.
Derek, you're forgetting something.
What am I forgetting? Tell me what
What
I
do you?
could have
What do you? Let
possibly
me
forgotten.
quiz you. What do you do in an introduction?
My name is Derek. I'm your host.
There we go. There we go.
This is Pato, the co-host, and Ethan,
Hello.
the co-host. We are thriving, but yeah,
Surviving, vibing.
Doing it without Will.
without Will,
So we've decided to make today the Weeb podcast. We've only got
with Will, you gain some insight. You gain a lot of knowledge, a lot of deep, introspective thought.
Very different
You
perspectives
take him out of the
on the
equation,
world, yeah.
and you can introduce some degeneracy into the conversation. So
and
we're gonna take advantage of that.
Yeah, the beauty of today's episode,
talk about
right
some
there.
Degenerate activity like watching anime.
Exactly.
Disgusting.
So let's start it off simple. Let's go through everyone's about top 5 anime, just personal favorites, right? Not objectively good or anything, just ones that you love. All right. I guess I could start off. All right. So this is a top 5. I'm not going to order it just because I have a hard time picking one over another. There's a lot of good anime that I've watched that I like a lot. I guess one that could be my favorite is Attack on Titan. But that being said, I have not started the new season yet. I've been kind of waiting for it to get a few episodes in before I start anything. But that is one that I've loved watching. It's kind of my type of show, because I'm a big fan of apocalyptic type scenarios and stuff, and when you put that with anime, that's just really cool to me. And Attack on Titan, I don't know, dude, just it's one of those animes where it's the first episode gets you so hooked. It's there's not many anime. There's not many anime I could say where first episode it's just it's a banger. It's I'd say that one and Tokyo Ghoul are two of my favorite first episode in anime.
Those both also have really, really clean looking art styles.
Yeah.
Especially AOT, because they have I don't know if they do it in the later seasons, but I know that they have a thicker outline on the characters. Do you guys? I don't know why that sticks out to me, but it just
looks
adds
cell shaded.
Yeah.
They're just more comic booky.
It just looks so cool, and it makes it stand out more.
Kind of like Kuroko, I guess.
I don't want to disappoint you, but the art style does in fact change.
Dang.
In the later seasons, it's a point of controversy
That's
because
tragic.
the studio changed, and I'm pretty sure right now it's Mappa, which essentially just means that it changed to like, do you know like Berserk, how it's like 3D, like almost like CG?
Yeah. Is it? Is that like people
Some of
doing
the,
Jujutsu Kaisen as well?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, so they can do both, but it definitely leans more towards like the Berserk end of the spectrum, where it kind of looks like wonky and like 3D anime, kind of cringe, you know? I think like the biggest one is probably like Ruby, and that looks like a web series, you know, it doesn't look like an anime, and I feel like it kind of gives off the same vibe. Like the
That show's
Titans being
weird.
like weird and like blocky, and I don't know, something about it.
I don't know.
I think
Personally, for me, like when I watched it, I didn't really see like a big deal about it. Uh, but yeah, I guess not everyone's cup of tea.
Definitely not mine, you know,
Yeah.
but
I thought Jujutsu Kaisen looked really good.
I love
no,
the
it does.
animation for that.
The
I
art
think it looks
style on that
sick.
looks
Yeah,
great.
the art style is very
But
cool.
that's not like 3D. That's like default normal like anime style.
I thought that's what they were doing though.
I think they kind of have like a little bit of it
Isn't
going.
that what they were? Isn't that studio's whole thing? Is that they just make all their stuff like semi 3D?
Like it looks very. Some of
Uh,
the shit looks very like realistic when they do like I don't know.
I'll
Like
see if I can find an
I also
example that I could show.
also love how that show starts off by just like we're like one episode in, and like the first punch they throw just like hits a dude through a wall, and then he just tumbles across like 3 different buildings, and then he just stands up with like slight pain.
yeah, that's like the thing. Like with Jujutsu Kaisen, is like the consistency of like the fights. Like I feel like it's like an anime that just like doesn't like drag on. Like first season's finished. I finished watching the whole like season recently, and like I don't know. It just seems like every episode there's like something really cool happening. There's just like a cool fight, like whether it be like between like the students or like an antagonist. You know, like
That's
there's just
something
like yeah.
I see a lot in like modern anime versus like older stuff, is that like there's so much less wasted time when it comes to like a series, rather than like you look at like an old show, right, like Naruto or One Piece, like there's so many episodes, but then like each individual episode there's like nothing happening.
There's a lot
And
of
then,
build up to fights, which I think also is like a good thing to like kind of like hype up stuff and like
yeah,
kind of like get to it, like get the story behind it, the arc. But yeah, I guess Naruto has like, I guess the biggest thing is like all the fucking like flashbacks and shit. It's like, oh, do you
all
remember
the
like,
filler
you
too.
know, 50 episodes ago when this happened? Oh, and all
Let's take the whole
inspirational.
episode to talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, and then throw that punch that just changes the tide of the fight.
And then
Get
five
that
and then
music in, and then you're like, oh yeah, here we go.
and then like 5 minutes later they stop explaining the move that he just did after the backstory.
Yeah.
I linked in the podcast chat if you just want to look to see the difference between the two studios for Attack on Titan. I don't know if that's the best example, but essentially it's like one looks very two-dimensional and then the other one conveys depth a lot more, but because it's modeled it looks kind of like I don't know how to describe it.
I see what you mean, though.
I
Yeah.
see what you're talking about.
Where it's like modeled out and it conveys depth more because like there's just more like room and they look bigger, but at the same time it doesn't look air quotes like anime, if that makes sense.
I think they both look good. I
Like
think I
it's
honestly might prefer the Mappa though.
well, keep in mind that the show has also been going on for a long ass time. So like the older one is like I don't even know when like the first season of
It
like
was
Attack
like
on Titan came out.
2013, I think.
That was a while ago. That was like 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing with me is like when I watched it,
Dang, that's 8 years
they were
now, you're right.
finishing the what was the last season before? It's 4, right? Season 4.
Yeah.
They were just finishing the 4th season, so that by the time I got to the end, literally the second to last episode had like just come out. So I had just like watched everything, like binged it all like in once, and then like waited 1 week for the last episode. So like I watched it all the way through, and like I don't remember like I don't know. I guess I'm just like not the biggest like hardcore fan, but like I don't remember it like I don't remember thinking like wow, like the animation studio just changed right here apparently and things are like super different. Like it didn't feel like that crazy of a jump, but like I was just watching it. I don't know. I was just watching it so fast. I feel like I didn't have the time to like just see this part and then go to the new one and be like, what? I don't know.
I haven't watched it since like 2013. I remember I watched season 1 while it was coming out. I like have like the manga up to like volume like 14 or something like that, and I've had it since like 2012, like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like reading like ahead of like where the show was, and I was like, damn, like I'm super excited for like season 2, whatever. And then I like had to like wait a year for it to come out. But then I was like, I've already read this, so then I was like, I'll just wait another year. But then it was like it has been like 3 years since I watched like the first season, and then there was just like new shit coming out. And now that it's over, it's like, oh, okay, now I can go and like watch it all.
Yeah.
But I haven't kept up with it like that.
Mm-hmm. They did finish the manga, so all that's left is it to just be animated, right?
Rude.
I've heard, things about the ending, people liking it, people not. Well, I don't know what happens, but
That's
we'll
every
see
show,
how it
though.
happens, yeah.
You cannot listen to people when they say that they like or don't like a show
Mhm.
unless you know who they are and like their taste in a show.
Even then,
Speaking of taste in the show, what's the rest of your top 5, Derek?
Yeah, let me just go through it. Let me just list them all, and then if y'all have anything to say about it, we can. But
I mean, you could stop on each. There's one less member. We gotta fill the time.
you're
Don't
right.
feel
You're
free.
very
Feel
right.
free.
All right. So we had Attack on Titan. If I like the new season a lot, maybe it's my number one, right? We also have Fate Zero, one that our good friend Gavin recommended to me. The whole Fate series is pretty good, but Zero, like for me, felt like my favorite watch. I liked the way like the story wasn't just about like one like person, kind of like how like Stay Night is about just like Saber and main character. That one's like it kind of goes from like each character's pair and like shows you like all the different like what are they like heroes or gods?
I don't remember what the term is.
Yeah, I don't remember what the term was for like all like the special people, but like I just like the way it like jumped from each person, especially see, now I'm not gonna look like a real fan because I don't know like the characters' names. Does that ever happen to y'all? Do y'all ever like think like, oh, I love
feel
this?
the same way about like Fate State, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's the fucking cool guy, the father of the
Cool
kid,
guy.
the father of the kid in like Stay Night.
I've never seen this. Like, I have no idea.
I'm gonna look up his name.
See, when you said cool guy, I thought you meant like the evil one, like the one who looks like Igor from Persona. Says like a big ass nose, and he's like a poison dude.
No, I'm talking about Kiritsugu, the like one. He's the one. He's he's the one that has Saber too. The guy who like just like fucking kills people and like.
Oh, okay.
The like super
See,
badass
I do know
one.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This dude did have a little bit of steez.
That dude was like the coolest fucking character, and like the whole way like it ends is just crazy. I love it.
He was made to be like the cool guy.
Yeah, he was. But like the way like Zero ends is like one of my favorite like ways like in anime just like ended. Like that shit was fucking crazy. And then we got Brandon here says Fate Stay Night is godlike. I agree, it is good. I do prefer Zero a little more, but I did like Stay Night a lot as well.
What about Unlimited Blade Works?
Emmy
Where the
and-
real fans at?
Or yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Unlimited Blade Works. Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. That's the one like I prefer. I saw both of them actually. With like the older one, just like Stay Night without the Unlimited Blade Works. That one was really different actually, because it was more like Emiya, like the main character, fucking kind of like in love with like Saber and shit.
Now, for those who don't know, Fate Stay Night is essentially like a Hunger Games type show where it's like different groups fighting like kill each other. It's like last one standing sort of thing.
Gets like
So it's
this
like
thing.
a dude and then like or like a girl, whatever, like a person, and then they have like a incarnation of like a weapon type
Yeah, yeah,
as like a person,
they
and they like
summon.
specialize in
Yeah.
like whatever
Mm-hmm.
weapon. And so there'll be people like one, like the most popular one is like Saber, which is like this girl who's like girl bossed out, and she's clean with a sword. And then there's
I think
I
they
don't know,
are
people
like
that got a
kind of like
lance.
gods, or they're like mythical characters that like existed. Because like one of like the most broken ones is like Gilgamesh, and he's like a biblical like figure. He's like half god, like half human or whatever. Uh, yeah, there's like that one, and then there's like Hercules also is one of them in Stay Night, I believe,
Is that
or
the
is
guy
that
with the
Zero? No, the one with
Hmm?
the carriage, I forget his name.
That guy's funny.
But
I
he
saw
was
the
cool,
first
yeah. He was really
episode.
cool,
Like,
yeah.
he was really funny.
Yeah, that's Zero. Yeah, Hercules is in Stay Night because that's like the like homunculus girls.
Homunculus girls?
Yeah, the
Is that what you?
homunculus girl.
What
She
the? What does
she's
that mean?
it's like a like not human, like a fucking
It's like an artificial
artificial
human.
human. Yeah,
Like an AI?
yeah. Have you seen
No, it's like they like
No, no,
raise
no.
a fucking like egg into a human or some shit. Like you
Yeah.
like summon
Oh,
it like with like
oh,
alchemy or
Have
whatever.
you seen yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist?
no.
Oh, really?
And we'll
No.
get to that when we read your top five. I'm interested. Without the
True.
classics, what
All right.
rises to the top?
Wait, hold on. I need to continue. All right. Let's get
Of
past
course.
Fate Zero. Uh, next we have Steins Gate.
Hmm.
Classic.
Classic. It's about time travel. I like the main character. He's really funny. I think the story is really good. I think the way like the whole concepts of like how time travel works in the anime with like the different like threads and shit, the different world lines, and like seeing how like the story develops is like they start changing the past. I think is really cool, and like how it changes the world. I don't know. Uh, it's like a different speed, you know. We're talking about a lot of shonen, but like Steins Gate is like a cool like one to like kind of like change the pace, and like I don't know. It's just really interesting. I like the ending. I like everything about it. And then a lot of people say it starts off like slow, but I was pretty interested like from the start. I don't know.
It definitely is slow in terms of like
I
what
would
you
It got me
expect
actually.
from the
thinking. I
show.
don't know. So I
You have
like.
to watch 7 episodes before they like get to the time travel.
Uh huh.
There's no conflict until like the seventh one, right?
Exactly,
Well, in
which
the
isn't a bad
first
thing. It's
episode,
just like
something
exposition,
happens,
Yeah, it's
right?
just a lot of exposition.
Mm
which pays off, which is why it's like worth it.
hmm. Mm hmm. It definitely like all comes together, and then you're like, damn, that's crazy. But yeah, there's that one. I also put JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on mine just because of how much I thoroughly enjoyed watching that show. Um, I don't know. I just love the characters in the show. I love the like fighting style, like the power like type thing that they use. What would you even call that? Like
The stands.
yeah, I just love the stands. I like
It's
that
very
type
over
of
the top.
He's a
yeah.
Stan.
Yeah, just like I don't know. I think it's really cool, like, cause each stand is like so unique and like I don't know. They do their own thing and just I don't know. I think that's one of my favorite like power types in like uh all the animes that I've watched. Another good one's Hunter x Hunter. That's not my. I didn't put that on my top five, but that's like an honorable mention. Like I like
See, I've only seen Hunter x Hunter. I haven't seen JoJo's, but the way that I've heard stands described reminds me of like when you get in Hunter x Hunter to like the Phantom Troop era, and every different person just has like this like super cool like unique power to them, and like each of
mm-hmm.
them get like progressively like more like ridiculous kind of, where it's like whether it be like one of like the Phantom Troop members where it's like they just have a vacuum that can just suck anything, or like
Yeah.
some of the dudes that are like with Kurapika when they're like in that like manor, that like super short part where like dude can like write a haiku, and then like if he says it then it like comes true or something like that, or like
Yeah.
there's just like a ton of like little like small things that are just really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say that's a good way to like kind of like say it.
Same with like what are the names, Knuckle and Shoot, where it's like punches you and he puts this thing that
Oh
like drains
yeah.
your mana or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
like can shoot his hand. There's like a
Yeah.
ton of like little stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what those are like because like those types are like really unique because you have like a lot of generic ones where it's like, oh, you have like chakra and it's literally just like power, but I mean they have like the jutsu, so that's cool. But or like Dragon Ball with like ki, like that's like some really like basic, just like I don't know. You have like aura and like different stuff that's kind of like not super unique, but it's more about like how the people like how they like strategize, I guess, which is cool. But I think like whenever you have like powers that are like super unique, it adds like spice to the fights because it's like
Yeah, Nen was
it
pretty cool in
changes
Hunter x
everything.
Hunter.
Yeah, I love Nen. Yeah, but yeah, JoJo's is just like really funny. I love Jonathan or no, um, Joseph. Joseph is my favorite JoJo character.
Isn't that the first one?
No,
No, that's the second
Jonathan's the first one.
the
Joseph's the second one, and then he's still in the third one as like the fucking
He's
grandpa.
an old ass man.
He's an
Yeah.
old dude, but he's so fucking funny, dude.
His power is so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, very
Not
funny.
like the camera thing, just like the fact that he'll just know what you're about to say
Oh
and then be like,
yeah.
"You're about to say, how'd you do that?" And he's like, "How'd you do that?" Oh,
That
It's
shit
always-
gets me every time,
yeah,
dude.
you know it's coming too. But you're like, "Oh, he's gonna say it."
Oh no.
He's like, "Yo, you said it."
That shit is so funny.
Just brings
Oh,
a smile to your face, man.
Mm-hmm. And then I think I talked about four. My last one I put is Assassination Classroom. For similar reasons to JoJo's, I just like it just made me feel good like watching it the whole time. I was always happy to just like put it on with like a smile on my face. Like that show was great. I love Koro Sensei. He's like the fucking goat, just like super nice guy. It's cool just like seeing like I don't know, all the characters develop. He's just like a good ass fucking teacher, and then like you get to the ending and see like how things unfold, like why he became like how he is, and then you know
And what
it's
would you
crazy.
describe the plot as for someone who hasn't seen it to just eat?
So, Assassination Classroom, to describe kind of like how it starts, without like spoiling anything. So basically, there's this yellow dude with tentacles. No one knows what he is. We don't know if he's like an alien or like genetically like modified human or whatever, right? He just appears, and he basically like destroyed like a huge crater in the moon. Like it's like a crescent now. Like it just like the moon is like not full anymore. It has been like fucked up.
Okay.
The military is trying to detain this guy for destroying the moon, but he's so fast that they just can't do it. They like the whole military could shoot at this guy, shoot missiles, shoot anything, and like he can just dodge it all, right? So they're like, "Fuck, we like literally can't do anything with this guy." So he's just like standing next to like top head like military like general like FBI whatever, and because he like no one can like challenge him just because he's so fast. He's not all that like strong, but he has like cool things he can do, like, but no one can beat him, mostly because of his speed. And he has one demand that he wants to teach this classroom for some unknown reason that you may or may not find out later in the show. And it's a classroom full of like the delinquent kind of kids that like don't get as good grades, right? Very specific. Or he will like blow up the world, but they have to. Or he said he would like put himself in check if he could keep this classroom and teach it, but in like 1 year he will destroy the world. So the people like escorting the Koro Sensei, the like alien guy, they're like, all right, well he only can be here. He's like agreed to our terms to just like stay here and do whatever. Y'all need to try and kill him though, before like before like a year because he's gonna blow up the earth or whatever.
Interesting.
So he's teaching these kids like actual like educational stuff, like teaching them like stuff. He's also teaching them how to assassinate him and how to be a good assassin, and they're all trying to like assassinate him, like
yeah.
And it's like I don't know, it's really cool. There's a lot of cool characters. The kids like development is cool, and then yeah, the sensei is just like hilarious and like I don't know.
That sounds really interesting. I like the idea of how like the villain is also like teaching the main characters.
Yeah, he's
Like they're working together in a way.
like he doesn't feel like the villain at all, but you're like, well, the world, he's gonna blow up the world though.
Yeah.
And no one knows why he's teaching or why he's gonna blow up the world, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
He's gonna do it though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's gonna do it for my top 5. Why don't we go to Pato?
Okay. Mine doesn't have as many like casual ones, maybe one or two. But to start off, just the repeat to get out of the way, I also put Steins Gate in my top 5. I think it's just staple sci-fi. I think time travel in general is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like visual novels by like Chunsoft, which are like the people who made like Danganronpa and like 999. So it's just like,
play those VNs.
yeah, they're good. And there's like also ones like Steins Gate, but just as a show, I think it's written really well. Like the way the story progresses, like the character development, like it's hard to make a time travel show in general just because there's so many like little things you need to get right about like the timeline in general and like what would happen when like you skip over one, whatever, blah blah. Yeah, it's good. Like it's really good. I've watched it a couple times. I'm gonna try and watch it again soon just because it's been a while. I think it's just solid. Another one that I have is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. I didn't finish the original, like just Fullmetal Alchemist, but I've seen Brotherhood, and I'm rewatching it again. I think it's also solid as fuck. There's a lot of like influence that you see in other shows, like Soul Eater. I remember I watched that recently, and I saw some little influences here and there. I think that it's just like probably like the best shonen. I can't really think of one that just does everything better. It's a little like tacky at times, right? But I think it's just you get that with like any like shonen kids show, right? But as it goes on, I think
What did you say? I blinked out.
Full Metal Alchemist
Okay.
Brotherhood. As it goes on, it gets like darker and just like more serious. Like it takes itself less like jokingly and relies less on humor. And it's just like you have these like super cool characters and like everyone's like learning to fight. The whole like, well, I won't get into it just for spoilers' sake, but there's some cool like just theistic themes that run throughout it, like some like religious concepts and stuff. Uh, the whole like the villains are super like strong, not like powerful, but just like each one is super unique, and I don't know, the whole thing is just done really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they fight against like the 7 deadly sins, so like there's like one for like envy, one for lust, one for greed, one for gluttony, like, and they're all
Pride.
just based around that. I just think it's another just solid show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another one I have is Code Geass. Code Geass is like a mech show, like one of those like mecha ones where like everyone's just riding around in a big ass robot. But it's also very story driven and like pretty sci-fi as well. The rundown, just like first episode type shit, like no spoilers, is that there's this kid and he gets a superpower from some alien girl where essentially he gets something called Geass, right? Code Geass. And so it allows him to just command anyone to do like whatever he says. And so it's just this kid, right? And he gets his power and then he just kind of decides to take over the world. And he's got the skills to back it up. Now he has like the power to back it up as well. So he just goes around and it's about like him and like outsmarting people, like being tactical. I think the music in it is so fire. The mechs are also really tight, but that just might be a personal thing. The characters are also strong, like just well written, well made. It's just good. Have you guys seen it? I feel like you both
Yes,
have.
I have seen it, and I think I purposefully didn't put like that one and Full Metal Alchemist because I feel like I kind of knew you would put some. I feel like I felt like you would do that because Gavin recommended me both of those animes, like some of the first ones he like wanted to recommend me once I got past like the like regular shonen. Like once I watched like Hunter x Hunter, after that he recommended Code Geass and Steins Gate and Full Metal Alchemist, and I was like, I feel like and he mentioned how you liked Code Geass a lot, like that was like y'all's favorite, and like, but yeah, I do like Code Geass a lot. I love the way, I just love the storyline. The first season ending is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Um, that shit's crazy. And then yes, with Full Metal Alchemist as well, like, uh, I love all like the different like antagonists. Like they're really fucking unique and
The
cool.
pace of the show is also just super solid. Because like
Yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist is only like, I don't know the exact number, but maybe like 64 episodes or something like that.
Mhm.
And it's like just like this full ass like from point A to point B like
Mhm.
shonen that goes everywhere in between, but it just like is super compact, and the pacing isn't just like bullshit. Where like you get like these arcs in Naruto or something like some equivalent where it's just like, all right, next 30 episodes are gonna be like this one event, you know, whatever.
Mecha Naruto.
That was a good
Yo,
filler.
everyone's favorite episode.
Everyone loves that one.
He's gotta go chase out Mecha Naruto.
Or you look at something like Bleach, and like if you like follow like a filler guide where it's like just skip whatever's filler, like you'll skip like 60 episodes at a time because it's just like none of this matters like at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Fullmetal Alchemist, it's just like every episode something happens, and like they get closer to like whatever like the end goal of the show like is, or like whatever at that moment is like important. It's like
Mhm.
every episode just like a stepping stone, and then you get like to like the open expanse where it's just like holy shit, like we're in the end game now, and then it's just like every episode
Philosophy,
is super
bro.
tight.
Philosophy.
Every episode's so tight.
I love it. Yeah.
That kind of goes back to what I was saying about like shows nowadays. Like back then, like they were just like so much filler. And then, well, actually, when was FMA coming out? When was that? Wasn't that like 2010-ish?
Yeah, it was around that time. It was
For-
like 2000.
For what? For Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Brotherhood's more recent.
Yeah. The original was like also, I don't think had like filler either, really. But it was
But yeah,
it just took the
it is
story a
2010.
different direction.
It was 2010.
Slightly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Huh. Interesting. Maybe that was when they started realizing that people don't like watching filler.
You know, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Probably not though, because Shippuden ran until like what 2018 or something.
I feel like that's different. That's like a fucking enterprise. That's
Well,
not even a show at that point. That's like a machine.
Well, let's think about like a current show that has filler. Like, doesn't My Hero have a little bit of filler? Like, not to the extent of Naruto, but I feel like it has like some, right?
I feel like My Hero just repeats itself over and over because it's like ahead of the manga, so it just doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
I feel like I stopped watching My Hero at like midway through season 2. I could put on season 4 and I feel like I would be fine.
Probably, honestly.
Like I would just be like, okay, they're a little bit stronger, but it's like, okay,
If you watched the Stain fight, honestly, I don't remember anything that happens after that until like the newest season.
You
If
gotta
I'm
take
being
that
honest.
poster down, Derek.
Well, that's the Stain poster. That's the thing. He's one of my favorite.
like mix the blood or whatever, right?
Yeah. His
That
power.
was like the last thing I
Yeah,
saw.
his power is like he'll use his like sword to just cut you. Like he's like a normal person until he like cuts you, and then if he licks your blood, you're just paralyzed. Yeah,
Whoa.
but depending on your blood type, it changes like how long he can keep you paralyzed. So if you have O, it's like significantly less than like A or some shit.
No way. I wonder what Deku has.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay.
That's such a weird thing. Like, why are Japanese people so obsessed with blood type?
It's like your horoscope in America.
But it's not though.
Yeah, it is. People
Is it?
use blood type as like a personality indicator.
Do
Like,
they?
they're like, oh, I'm B positive or whatever, and that like means something to them.
Like, if you get a B minus, does that mean like you're not as smart as a kid with B plus? Or O, you're like
Maybe
more
you just have
creative?
different traits, you know, who knows.
I'm like, if you
Maybe.
play like old games,
They will
it's
say
like,
it.
like, Japanese port, they'll like say like what like the character's blood
Yeah.
type.
I was playing Virtua Fighter 2 in somehow I forgot the name. Yakuza Like a Dragon, and they had all the blood types, and it's like, why would you need to know this? Like, in what world would you need to know the blood type?
It's like an adjective. It's like if you hover over someone, it's like they're spunky, they're serious,
But like that's something that like if they just didn't
Whatever,
have
man.
that, I
All
would
right.
not care.
More
I
Doesn't
would not
matter.
care.
You're American, bro. It's not for you.
Wow,
Yeah,
put
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah.
down because I'm
It's not
American.
for you.
Stupid
I
American.
got
B.
2 more, and then it's your turn, Ethan.
All right.
Let's get it.
Let's see. Another one, right? This one's kind of more casual, but Bakuman. It's by the same guy who made Death Note, right? It's essentially, because I don't think either of you have watched it. It's essentially the story of a mangaka, right? Like someone who like draws and like creates like mangas, and it's like the super interesting, especially if like you read it. If like there's like a show and like a manga version, and I like both, but I like the manga more because you get this like weird like fourth wall breaking like look at like what it was like to make what you're reading, if that makes sense. Because like it just shows you like the behind the scenes of like what making a manga is like, where like you come up with an idea, like you rough draft it, you meet with an editor, like they give you notes, you fix the notes, you send it to like a drawer, like you have someone do like each aspect of the panel, like someone does like the text bubble, someone does a speech, someone does like the background plating, someone does the effects afterwards, and like one person's in charge of the characters. You like see like what a studio runs like, and then it's like you see like the behind the scenes of like the rating process of like getting good enough to have something run in a like Shonen Jump volume where like they have like a bunch of like new names they're called, and it's just like one chapter, like one shots, and like people will vote on those, and then like based on like where you like you rank, you like progress. It was really really interesting to read, to watch too. It's really casual, it's like fun. The characters are cool. There's a lot of like different ways that you build conflict through that, which I thought was interesting, where it's not like violent at all. It's just like people fighting through like their ideas and like trying to come up with like the best show possible, and like the ratings and blah 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 blah. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend trying to watch it, trying to read it.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. Like I get that. It's not like an action show. It's not really a romance show, even though there is like a kind of love subplot.
It's like slice of life kind of though, right?
Kind of, yeah. Except that
Gavin
it's like
recommended it to me. He said y'all
it's
both
like
liked it as
technical.
well.
Yeah, Bakuman, super good.
Yeah.
Super super
I'll
good.
definitely watch it one day.
And then the last one I have is just Neon Genesis, just Evangelion. A little bit of a based red pill pick for me, but it really is, I think, like just hands down the GOAT. Like I cannot
Hands
think of
down.
anything that's just like overall better. Only, well, the only reason I can say that confidently is because of End of Evangelion, which is like the movie like add-on that like is canon to the show, where like you watch whatever episode, I think it's like the 24, then you watch the movie, then you watch the last episode. But the movie is like so fucking good. It's so like pretty and like well animated, and like there's so much going on. Like it's never boring. It's just like you never know what the fuck is going on. There are so many like moments and just like visuals that are just either super pretty or super trippy or super gross, or just like you're witnessing like what the end of the world essentially is like supposed to look like in this
Yeah.
world with like giant angels. I don't know. The movie was so fucking good. I get that the show kind of like can fall flat in some places. Like it starts off pretty fucking slow, and there's a lot of like repetition where it's just like go here, fight this enemy, go here, fight this enemy. Okay, we finally fought all the enemies. Let's
Shinji
progress.
hates his life.
I don't know. I'd liked every character.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't one that I thought was like that bad. Some of them were like worse than others, but I think the show is just really really well made.
Yeah, well,
Like
I think if we're talking like objectively, like what do you think's like the best like overall anime, like in terms of like how artistic it was and like how well written it was and like the characters and like the plot and like I don't know, I feel like Neon Genesis is one that just goes super deep and it's like so complex. Like the fact that like it's so hard to understand, I think is like part of the beauty of it, because like there's
like
so many ways
layers.
to interpret it, and like yeah, it just like gets people like talking like after like I finished it, like I had to like read up on like a bunch of shit and like try to like I don't know get like an explanation for this and that and like I don't know, that show was crazy for sure. The movie was really
The
good
movie
too.
itself is just so good.
Yeah.
Like the music in the show is also really good. Like opening is
Whew.
one of like the greatest like just ever. Period.
Yes,
But like
sir.
the aesthetic of the show itself too, because it's also like a mecha, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like with like this like just 90s like gloss to it all, and it's
Yes,
just like
dude.
sleek. It's like
Oof.
jazzy at times. Like it's also like kind of like muted, where like it's like still hand drawn, so you can just like see like some like the lines just in general. Towards the end, something that I don't know, I thought was cool was like while they were like losing budget, like the quality of like the animation would go down, but they like just incorporated it into like him just like losing his mental, like,
Yeah.
and like going like internalizing all this shit, while like in some like the later parts it's like literally just like sticky note like stop motion of like
Uh-huh. The
stuff
last
that's
like
been
couple
drawn.
episodes was super fucking trippy.
Yeah, they were just like drawn with like marker, and it's just like this is
Yeah.
like they made something so sick out of like the circumstances, which like also just
Uh-huh.
elevates it to like another level.
That is, yeah, it's
'Cause it's
really
like one of
cool.
those things where it's like it wasn't like recognized until like way later. Like at the time, like they were just like running out of money because like
Mm-hmm.
no one really was into it like that. But I don't know. I rewatched it like last year, so very much like it. And then honorable mention, I'll just throw it out there. It's not a show, so I didn't put it in my top 5. But Oyasumi Pun Pun, greatest ever. If you read one manga, I would recommend it be that one. That show I've like reread it every like year, and every time I find something new that I just like really like about it. It's dark, so if you're not like into like dark shit, maybe stay away. But I don't know. I'm obviously biased because I like it a lot, but just my 2 cents.
All right. That was pretty good. I like the
Oh,
list.
all right. I don't know how I made it this far, but I am not a weeb. I somehow fit into the jurisdiction of what a weeb is. But if you go to my anime list, there are only 8 shows total. I could add like 1, maybe 2, but 4 of the 8 shows are just this. It's 2 shows because it's season 1 and then season 2, and that's twice. So really, there's only 6 shows on here. So I kind of am shit out of luck for what I can say. So we're gonna go number 1. You got Code Geass, classic. You can't go wrong. You got the mech. You got the cool art.
Remember
You
season
got
1.
the vibe.
Season 1
Yeah, it
only.
was season 1. I did not watch season 2 because I liked season
I
1's ending.
forgot.
I liked season 1's ending, and I was like, the show should just end here. So I just never watched season
That's so
2.
dumb. That's so dumb.
I disagree. No.
You could disagree, but dude, I saw that. I was like, dude, I'm satisfied. I don't need to watch anymore. I'm
He
happy with
said
how
I'm
that is. I'm
On one
happy
hand,
satisfied.
I
with
like
that.
applaud you for just being able to do that. Just being like,
Yeah.
you did it, guys. Good
I
job.
I think he's crazy for stopping after like watching that.
You stopped on a cliffhanger. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, dude, what do you? They both died. Like that. To me, that was the ending. Like I think that
Season
was just
yeah.
great.
Season 2 has like the closure.
It
But
does. I watched like the first episode of it, and I was like, this just ain't hitting anymore. I'm kind of done. And then I just dropped it.
Season 2 does have one of the best endings ever. Yeah.
I do know that season 2 is also really good.
yeah,
And then
the whole show is good.
the second one is Naruto, and I'm glad neither you guys said Naruto because I love Naruto.
I do
Both
love Naruto.
I
Shippuden
considered it.
and regular.
I did as well.
Because it's like, it's not the greatest show in terms of like story, because it's literally just any shonen, like hero gets stronger, fights stronger, bad guy. Eventually he saves the world and then the show ends. But Naruto just has like so much in terms of like world building that like I can't think of another show out of the 8 on this list that can compete with that. like, like none of these shows I'm looking at can compete to the level that Naruto is holding up to. You got like all the different villages,
That's a lot of cool shit.
all the different powers, all the different like utilizations of like chakra and the abilities in it and stuff. And well, we might talk about it later, but there's one thing in particular that I like about it. The third one, Steins Gate. These aren't in order, by the
Who's
way.
your favorite character in Naruto?
Naruto.
You're so yeah, true, for sure.
And Steins Gate, another banger. I feel like I don't need to explain it because it was on all of our top threes. Just go watch it if you haven't. And now here's where it gets kind of rough, right? Because there's like no other show that I would really want to put in the fourth position. So I'm just gonna go out there and I'm just gonna say the Dota anime. That it's 8 episodes, 30 minutes long, but it's literally just no bullshit. It just like has a story. It tells you the story. It just keeps you going. So well put together, like perfectly paced. Beautiful show, especially if you actually do play Dota like I do. And finally, I out of sheer I have to for
Just
my
lack
fifth
of
one.
options.
Yeah, out of lack of options. Kuroko no Basket would
Yo,
take number 5,
let's go.
which is a good show,
Hey.
but I will say
Hey.
I rewatched it, and that show is paced horribly, man.
I tried to get
Fuck
into it.
you,
and I
dude.
couldn't.
I love Kuroko no
Okay,
Basket.
it is a good show, right? But then you go back and watch it, and you realize that all your favorite scenes from that show are just like 2-minute snippets, and then 5 minutes of them explaining why that snippet was cool. And like your first time, you're like, "Whoa, that's incredible!" And then your second time, you're like, "Dude, I understand. He's moving fast. He's dribbling the ball, and he's shooting from anywhere. Like, okay, move on."
Hmm.
And that's my top 5.
Let's go.
All right.
So now for a more interesting topic, in my opinion, what is y'all's guilty
Wait. I
pleasure
want to
wait.
show?
ask that. Was there anything that you feel like we as a collective left out of our top 5? Was there something that got snubbed that you're really into?
Yeah, if you weren't here, my top 5 was Attack on Titan, Steins Gate, JoJo's, Assassination Classroom, Fate Zero.
Mine was Bakuman, Steins Gate, Neon Genesis, Code Geass, FMA, and then Oyasumi Pun Pun.
Brandon said
Yu
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 Yu Hakusho. All right, we have another topic coming up. I'm gonna bring that anime up in a bit, but I agree with you. That is definitely a goated anime.
Yeah, Pun Pun is dumb good.
Mm-hmm. All right, just put y'all's favorite anime. I want to hear.
It's an interesting.
Vanilla said they like Naruto a lot.
Vanilla is cold, by the way.
I got you. Yeah, I don't need to tell you how good it is then.
All right, while we wait for some of their answers, how about we?
Erased is pretty good.
Oh,
I won't cap. That's a good ass
quick.
like intro show. If you have a girlfriend and they haven't watched anime and you're trying to get them into it, Erased is a good first show.
You know, I'm gonna
It's
look
like
like a fucking.
it's
I
for,
still
like,
haven't seen that one. I think that was one I was gonna watch next, for sure. But yeah, I'm like a noob for like not having seen that one yet. Avatar: The Last Airbender. That one
That
is
Bro,
good.
no cap. That show's goated.
Yeah, that I love that. I still haven't seen Legend of Korra. I want to watch it. Have y'all seen that one?
I don't.
It's supposed to be really good too.
Aren't they coming out with a new thing? Aren't they
Yeah,
coming out with,
I
like, a
saw
third?
that. They're
Bro,
making like a
Legend of
Netflix
Korra.
original. Like they're making like a few episodes or something.
It's like Appa and Momo's backstory.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm just
Apparently,
fucking.
it's a live action one.
No,
That would
I
be
don't think it's gonna be
interesting.
live action. I thought it was gonna be animated.
That's true. They literally cannot fuck it up worse than the movie. That was such a bad
Yeah.
movie.
Bro,
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in the theaters. That was crazy that they did them like that.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe that was just awful.
That
was
put
just
a
such
bad
movie.
reputation on Night M. Shyamalan or whatever.
He
Or-
made that?
Yeah.
he did.
He was the director.
He was the
Oh my
director for it.
God.
Yeah.
Bro, how do
Bro,
you
he
mess
played
that
his
up?
heart out. No
To be
hate, no
fair,
hate.
it is a hard show to like change to live action. I feel like any shonen really.
hmm
Like, how do you make Naruto a live action show?
I still feel like that was better than like
Unbelievable,
any
bro.
Netflix adaptation of of like an anime that was like made.
Well, how many Netflix adaptations of anime have you seen?
I watched the Death Note and I looked at like the preview to like the Fullmetal Alchemist one, and that one just looked extremely fucking
I mean, they
shitty.
all look bad.
Yeah, they're all just terrible. Like the Death Note one, like I think Ryuk looks really cool, but they just like butchered Light's character and they made
What
him
was his
like
name? It was like Light Smith or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
like
like
Johnson.
Light and
Yeah,
like Death Note is just like this super smart like fucking genius that would like never let like any like stupid like small thing get in his
I
way,
mean,
and he turns
if you
into like loving this girl that like in the show he would never
you
just
gotta
fucking...
give him some credit though, because you can't pace an entire like 50 episode show like the same way that you would like a movie.
I
You have
guess
an
you're
hour,
right.
an hour and a half to convey all of Death Note. You gotta save like 30 minutes for the intro, or else like the boomers who like haven't seen the show aren't gonna get what the fuck is going on. They're like, why is there a devil? What is this book? How like he's going too fast, like blah blah blah. So you have like an hour to just like tell like one thing, which is why you just shouldn't do it in the first place. You know,
Yeah, fair enough.
you
Fair enough.
it's I don't know. There's no like best case scenario.
Well, you don't have to make a movie an hour and a half long. You can convey a lot of stuff in 3 hours.
I still feel like they
Yeah,
could have took
That's
like
a
his
I
personality
mean,
in like a
everybody
different
watch all
direction.
3 hours, especially if they haven't seen the show.
Why are you trying
I
to
mean,
get boomers to watch this shit? That movie is
Bro,
not made for
I'm
boomers.
not trying to get boomers. Think about Netflix as a whole. They're making a movie. Why would they be like, this is for the 60,000 people who have seen Death Note? Instead of just like, let's
It's
get
definitely
everyone to watch
more
that
than
Netflix original.
60,000 people that have seen
Whatever.
Death Note.
you gotta also think like I feel like weebs as a whole are very like it's like a whole new industry, right? Like who else buys like figurines of some random chick from an anime, right?
Spurs fans,
Fucking
for sports fans, they buy fucking memorabilia. They buy a lot of.
yeah, it's like the same thing, right?
You said who else? I told you who else.
Okay, wait, hold
Well,
on.
I was saying who else buys the weeb stuff? Like only weebs buy the weeb stuff because it's for them.
Back to the 3 hour movie thing. Think about movies like Lord of the Rings and like the Hobbit movies. Those were each like 3
Think about how if
hours.
you watch Lord of the Rings, you're a fucking nerd. Think about that.
Okay, well, if you're watching a fucking anime
Just
adaptation, you're a fucking nerd. Like, people watch that shit. Like, older people watch that shit. I feel like they could have made the 3 hour, but they probably just
Bro,
didn't have the
it's like a
budget.
history book, bro. They're like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Hobbit movies.
No, I'm just
Those were
trolling.
good.
I
Those
do a
were
little
good.
trolling. But
Those
yeah,
were
The
good.
Hobbit actually, the book is so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how about we move on
Yeah, we
All right,
gotta
all
go
right,
to
all
to
right.
the next
my
topic?
bad. I feel like
I mean,
inside
we're talking about our favorite like
Alright.
anime. Like, obviously, that's gonna take up some time. You know, things
Yeah.
we like a lot.
In hindsight, we probably should have done top 3 instead of 5.
Maybe.
No, that would have been way harder to like decide though.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that was we talked about that for almost an hour long.
And
Hey,
we could keep going.
this podcast can go for 2. We set it up for that.
This is the most interesting question to me. Whoa, is that
Oh,
Will?
Hero
Holy
return.
Whoa,
shit!
whoa.
What
Halfway through,
is
we were not
happening?
Yo.
Oh, he's gone.
I wonder what his top 5 anime is.
Damn, that's
true.
crazy.
Let's get through the anime fights. That way, if he joins, he doesn't gotta just
Listen,
twiddle his thumbs.
Wait, I wanted to talk about the guilty pleasure though.
I mean, we can.
I
wrote
feel
a
like that.
couple
I
for
feel like
guilty
that one's
pleasure, though.
more interesting.
I feel like it's hard for me to like pick like I don't know. I don't think I've seen a lot, but I wrote a couple down. If y'all want to categorize it as that, but for one of them, so for this topic, we're gonna talk about anime that we liked that maybe a lot of people maybe don't like or would judge you for watching or judge you for enjoying it. For the first one, I put one down that I don't think it's that controversial, but there is like a large like hate for it. Sword Art Online. I think both of y'all disliked the
I
way that
watched.
anime went.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it since like 6th grade, so I don't know. But I remember I liked it. But I was also like 12, so
Well, I watched it like a few months ago, and I liked it a lot. I haven't seen like the Alicization or whatever, like the newest one that's out, but just like the
yeah, the show is
OG.
just
Yeah.
one season. It's just Sword Art
Yeah.
Online, and then it ends there.
Well, it's
You don't
two
gotta watch.
seasons. It's 2 seasons.
You don't gotta watch Gun Gale. You don't gotta watch whatever the fuck the third one is called.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just stop at the first one.
I think that's the show's biggest problem is that like they wanted to just milk it more, and like
I mean, I don't think that's them doing that, but
no, but like they had to keep going, and in keeping it going, they're like, well, let's just take the same plot, but it's a different video game.
bro, you thought that gun one was fire?
Yo.
You like girl Kirito being girl boss? That's crazy.
Yeah.
The fucking first episode was so cringe. They were like meeting in a coffee shop, and they were like,
He said
Kirito,
Loki.
we need you back in the game. And he was like, what? Can't anyone else take my place? No. Only you can be Gun. And it was like, yo. And then it was like the same shit where it's like, there's a hacker. And now, if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Again?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Just that multiple times.
All
I
right.
remember the hype for it when it first came out, though. Like,
There was
back
a
then,
lot of
it was going kind of crazy.
Pato, question for you in the chat. Where'd you get that fire hoodie?
Oh, my fire hoodie. Let me see. Can you just read the logo?
It says
It's
felt.
just- yeah, it's just FELT. Just for every living thing.
I felt that.
But thank you.
Pato, what is your dirty?
Wait, I had one
My
more.
guilty
I had one
pleasure,
more.
my guilty pleasure.
Hold
Oh
on.
yeah, one more.
Fruits basket.
I hear that one was pretty good though.
It is good, but people are
Well,
gonna judge me for watching that.
Yeah, I definitely do. It's not that bad because I mean I have my own guilty pleasures, but I think that's a good one to fall into that category.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, it is.
If you don't mind, I'll give the summary. Just because I'm unbiased, so I could
Okay,
just
yeah. Go ahead and take it away. Explain.
sugarcoating it. Essentially, it's like a slice of life romance show. There's like this family of people who have a curse where anytime that they get hugged, is it by like the opposite gender?
Yeah, opposite
Okay,
sex.
so
Yeah.
anytime a girl gets hugged by a guy or anytime a guy gets hugged by a girl, they transform into like a zodiac calendar animal. And so the whole
It's
thing
the
is
Zodiac family.
yeah, so they just like go through life and they're like doing their thing and falling in love, just living life. But then they can't get hugged, so it's just like a bunch of like girls being like tsundere, being like, Papa, I love you, but don't hug me.
Not really. It's mostly like the guys that get hugged like more often. Like it's like a lot of times people
okay, so it's the
transform.
guys
It's like
who-
a girl.
No, don't hug me.
Well, like the guy.
Whoa.
Well, the thing is, like the guys will be like kind of like assholes to like the girls or like push them away, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's like, I don't know, whatever."
It's kind of hard to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But most of the time, like the transformation happen, it's like someone tripping and like falling on them, and then like that's what happens.
Classic,
Because like
classic.
what the girl on the show is kind of like a klutz, like the main
Ah,
girl. So she tends to like.
What animal is she? Is she a tiger?
Well, she's not an animal. She's actually like an outsider that gets close to the family, and then she learns about the secrets, and they go through it. And I'm just saying, there's someone kind of like scary in the Zodiac family who's kind of trippy about it, and then they might do something to her.
Is it a dragon?
New season hasn't come out yet. I watched the 2019 one, so the last season's coming out this year, I think. So I'm kind of excited for it. I like the way the last season ended. It's getting really interesting, actually, like the plot.
Man, keep that shit to yourself.
No, hold up. Look, B-Shaw, my boy Brandon, he says we love our slice of life romance shows. All right, you can watch it for yourself, bro.
I'm just messing with you. I got some that are just as bad as
Sometimes you
mine.
gotta feel that like feeling, all right?
Derek, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You gotta. There's a need for it sometimes. All right.
I have two as well. My first one, it's gonna be a little lighthearted. Kagi Osama, Love is War. That show, I'm actually watching Toradora right now. I'll talk to you later about that. But Kaguya-sama, Love is War, just such a sweet anime, man. Just like makes
Was
you
that the
feel
one where it's like
good.
the big dude and like the small like?
It's the
That's
guy
like,
with blonde
oh, you
hair
know what
and then the girl with black hair and red eyes. Basically, they're like the two valedictorians of their class, but one is super rich and the other is like
Oh, this is Chica, bro.
yeah, exactly. It's cheap.
Yeah.
And basically the whole plot of it is that they both like each other, but they don't want to be the one to admit it. And they're always just in the clubhouse and they're like trying to play games with each other because they're the smartest in the class to get the other to say that they like each other. And I haven't seen the second season. I heard that it's a lot more serious, but the first season is just so lighthearted. Nothing goes wrong. And I hate the community for it because they just sexualize the fuck out of Chica for like just having big boobs and pink hair, and so it just gives the show a bad name when that's not what the show is about at all.
Damn, you're a
He's
defender to the
coming
lady.
after the community. All right, y'all are
Bro,
fucking
it's
Okay.
toxic.
honestly
I better not see
a little
nobody.
gross, bro. It's honestly a little weird.
No
I
boo-boos and
agree.
shit.
Now my second one, this one I gotta really prove to you guys. Let me tell you why I like No Game No Life.
You know, I don't know much about it, so I can't tell you off.
That's
But
for the better. That's for the better.
explain to me what it is.
So basically, it's an isekai, right?
Brandon said he lost me.
It's an isekai where it's this brother and this girl who's
Their
probably
little sister
she's
or whatever.
a little too young to
A
be
6-year-old girl.
Okay.
too young to be sexualized in the show. They get put into this world, so they're like the best at MMOs essentially, and they never stop playing. They're just unbeatable, and they get put into this world where the law is that like you decide things by like gambling essentially. So it's like, okay, if I win this game of rock paper scissors, like I'm gonna take your money. Otherwise, like it has to be of equal value. There's like rules to it, and yeah, best of all games in general. You're right. And essentially, it's just them just taking over the fucking world because they never lose at games. But like, I just love the world building, and it's a shame that show never got a second season because it was like, I mean, I'm not surprised, right? Because there's a little girl that is. I have a story to say. I'll say it after, but essentially, there's like a bunch of different races, and they all at like the very end of the show, there's like all these different races, and they all have like their own unique abilities. Like one can read your mind, and other ones are just like super brute force, and it's so interesting. But then they just never made a second season. But I don't know how I
There
sat through
might be
that
a
show.
second season, actually.
What?
I think there might be a second season.
No, there's not. Otherwise, I would know. There's
For
been
sure.
rumors about it, but nothing like factual.
That was me
Oh,
with
it was a
Noragami.
prequel movie.
There's a
Prequel movie.
Interesting.
Mm.
I've not
I
heard
don't
about
watch that though.
So I was trying to convince my girlfriend of a couple months ago where we broke up to watch that show. And I was like, now look, there's a little bit of lolly, but it's not that bad. And the show's like world building. Like it's an interesting show. You just got to look past that. And in like the first 5 minutes of that show, they show an outline of the 6-year-old girl's panties. And there's this line drawn. And I don't want to say any more, but we stopped watching the show after that.
Needless to say.
It was disgusting. I was like, I don't remember this. I am so sorry for putting you through that. Let's go watch something
You
else.
never realize how bad anime is until you're watching it with your like significant other, and you're just like
Mhm.
sitting through like the 30-second fucking like fan service scene that you forgot about, and you're just like,
And you're just thinking like, man, she thinks I'm such a fucking pervert.
yeah.
Oh, guys, I gotta go. I don't look at chat. Chat's banned.
We got chat on the screen, there's some
Can
interesting things
we
happening.
ban people on this show?
I don't think we ban
Am I
them,
am I allowed to be a mod right now? Can I go do my duty?
Hey, stick
no,
to the
no, no, no,
podcast.
no,
Stick
no,
to the
no.
podcast.
All right, we're getting off topic. We're getting off topic.
True. All right. My guilty pleasure shows, it's kind of a mix of both. I had two options. I I had two options. One was just like nerdy shit that like I know is lame, like even for like anime standards, I'm like, you could do better, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! Or, a different card game show, Card Fight Vanguard, which don't expect anybody else to know. But I used to be super into card games, like in middle school, like just like early on. And there were a couple that I played. I played Pokemon, the card game. I played Yu-Gi-Oh, played Card Fight Vanguard. And I played them all with my friends. They were pretty cool, air quotes, at the time. But I was just like super degenerate, like going to like tournaments for like all of them and just like being really invested.
Yeah, that's a crazy
Which
level of
it's
yeah.
it's a life to live. It's
I used to
it's
have a
not
shit ton
my
of
thing.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like it stacked probably like I don't know. I might need like two hands, but I had like probably that many Yu-Gi-Oh cards like as a kid. But I never like got super into the card game where like I knew all like the fucking rules and how to like play. We would just
I
be
mean, it
like,
was fun.
this
It
one's
was fun.
stronger. Like fuck you. Like I don't know. But yeah, in middle school I stopped for sure. But
Oh yeah, me too, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Uh, if I hold up my mouse pad, this is just a prop. I don't actually use this Card Fight Vanguard mouse pad, which I used to use as a
But he
placemat for my
has.
decks. But it's just on my desk, ironically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
Correct.
one where it's just like as a show, it's pretty dog. Like it's just for children, like literally, where it's just them like playing the card game in the show. Yu-Gi-Oh was kind of hard as fuck though, just because like first couple seasons, like the base set, if you want to call it that, everything is just so like steezy. Like every fucking like monster is just like hard as fuck for no reason.
Yeah, dude, there's
Plus,
some
if
crazy
you
monsters.
rewatch it, the pacing of it is pretty like aggressive. Where it's like first two episodes, it's just like boom, we're rolling, like, and we're not stopping either. It's like, okay, there's a card game. Okay, grandpa. Okay, grandpa gets kidnapped. Okay, play a card game for your grandpa's soul. Okay, now you got sucked into like this VCR world. Okay, this dude can see through your mind, and it's just like level up, level, and it's like been 3 episodes, and you're like fighting for your fucking life as Yugi, and it's just like this is pretty crazy. The only thing that I think kind of sucks about card game shows, like in general, is like the power creep that happens. Because every episode there has to be a battle, and every episode or like every battle has to be better than the last one. So it's just like getting more and more like just ridiculous. Where it's like I don't even know what's like happening towards the end. Where it's just like the stakes are so high, or like the fucking opponent is like so strong, and it's just like this is a lot to process. Like
Yeah.
when every single battle is just like everyone that you know is gonna die, and also I know all your cards, and also I'm cheating, and also I threw your deck into the ocean, and also it's like, damn, bro, like if you want to win that bad, just take it. But I would say that's a guilty pleasure. Another one that's like more like romance side of things. I don't really watch romance anime. Like I haven't seen like any, but I've seen a lot of like those like slice of life like romance like anime movies. So I'm just gonna call those as like a genre, my guilty pleasure. They're all pretty bad, which I can like recognize from the outside. Like it's just like essentially like a dating show where it's like someone like either falls in or falls out of love, and it's just like this cookie cutter story where like I could tell you one plot and it would like apply to like maybe like three of them that I've seen. And it's just like the same formula every time where it's like dude dude has girl, dude and girl break up, dude sad, like add some like orchestral like sad ass music, and you got it, like you're where you want to be. But there's like a couple that I've seen which all kind of fall in the same bubble. There's like 5 centimeters per second. There's one called Someone's Gaze, Voices of a Distant Star, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, The Anthem of the Heart, Garden of Words, Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I've Always Liked You, there's all of those are essentially like there's this guy and he's kind of a reject. He's lonely. He sticks to himself. He isolates. And then there's a girl, and the girl brings out the best in him. And then it's him and the girl being together. And you see this guy develop, and then they're both happy. And then the girl dies, and you just watch the guy cry, and then the movie ends. And like they're all like the same thing essentially, where it's like a love story and then like a tragedy just immediately after, and you get the feels out that way. It gets you somewhere. But that's just a guilty pleasure of mine. Like I recognize that there's not much merit in them. Some of
You
them
are
are good,
you
but
are the target audience for that show.
yeah, anytime I go through a breakup, I'm just watching some of those and I'm just like,
That's what
damn,
they make it
just like
for.
that.
It's like that's what I'm feeling right now. That
That's
feels
kind of
good.
that's kind of true. I did watch like the first romance movie after a breakup, like like anime like romance movie.
I remember I went through a rough one and I just watched like 2 every day, and I was just like, get all the feels out, like get it all out, and then it's like, all right.
Then I watched Fruits Basket just to feel something. Uh,
Derek, for
show
your
is
next relationship, you should
feel
just try
good.
to imitate that show. Never hug your significant other.
Yeah, just be like super
And then when
edgy
you
and
do, you
like
gotta
hard
start
to
like
get. Yeah.
making like animal noises.
Yeah.
You gotta get on your knees and start moving like a cow.
She didn't. One of them is a cow. Yeah.
Of course.
Is it a male?
Dude, yeah. He's a dude. Well, I guess he's a bull then, right? Not a cow, I think.
That's badass.
Yeah.
I'm actually that gives me some respect for that show because they didn't just go for the cowgirl typical Japanese plot thing.
They should have though. No, I'm not gonna watch that show because of that.
No cowgirls, I'm out.
There's a horse
Yeah,
girl. She's hot.
Is there a snake girl?
Snake. The snake is a dude.
Ah,
Sexy.
Cole, is that good enough, Cole? Yeah, he said no.
I think another guilty pleasure show just in general is like Haikyuu. I was thinking about it.
I mean, I think that's just like a solid show.
Haikyuu?
Yeah, I can't watch that with like a straight face though and
I've-
be like, yep, this is badass, because it's just like a bunch of just like effeminate yelps coming from these like just cute little boys that are all just like playing volleyball.
School.
I've
Yeah,
watched
and I'm just
both.
like-
I haven't finished Haikyuu. I watched like a season or two, but I liked Kuroko like a lot more than Haikyuu.
Yeah, Kuroko, they're grunting instead of like moaning.
Yeah, I feel like the female fan base is higher for Haikyuu than like Kuroko. I don't know, but I don't know. I could see both, I guess. But I don't know. I know a lot of females that like love Haikyuu.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's because they're all cute.
Bunch of cute men just
Just a little
playing.
I mean, it's
Cutie pies,
good though. Like I like
We should-
I liked
should
watching
imitate
it,
that.
but I just couldn't keep going.
Volleyball is one of those sports that I think is really fun, but you're never gonna play it. You know?
I think Gavin watched Haikyuu and then tried to play it, and yeah, I don't think it went the way it did in his head.
I've played volleyball a few times. It's fun.
Volleyball is a fun sport, but you're never gonna play volleyball. You know?
Like not seriously, but
Yeah, not like
No,
I think you can
competitive.
play it.
Even casually. Like,
I've
where are you
played
gonna
it like
find-
5
You
times
can play, like, on
casually.
the beach or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but where are you gonna find the time? That's like
Find the time.
You go to the beach, you go to
No,
the
no, no,
gym, there's a
but
net,
you're
you pick up a ball.
You're telling me you're
Casual.
gonna go to the gym
Bro,
and
Derek, let's go play volleyball tomorrow.
Facts.
yo, I'd be
Okay.
down.
No, you can't. You can't.
Why not?
Moving on.
How are you gonna find time? How are you gonna find time to play
Yeah,
volleyball
exactly.
tomorrow?
Where are you gonna find time? Where are you gonna find the people? You
Yeah,
can never do
that's
that.
it's
You
just
can-
that
you
no
can't
one's
do it
ever gonna play
casually.
volleyball. Dude, how does the sport even exist?
And much like we're fighting right now, one thing that anime has in common is there's a lot of fights in anime. There's a lot of combat in anime. Let's
Yes.
just go around. Let's just think about what are
Staple
some of the
moments.
best anime fights, just in general.
Someone else go first.
A funny thing, I did not put Naruto in my top 5. After Ethan talked about it, I started thinking Naruto has some banger fights. Like
Yes,
Naruto.
They're out there are
sir.
some real like tear jerkers. Whether it's like the Obito one or like the
Pain.
Naruto Sasuke one. Like I remember that one made me cry. Just because like there's so many like flashbacks of like them just like growing up like doing the damn thing. And both
Yeah.
ending in like essentially like a draw, and it was just like they love each other. They're all like best friends again. Naruto was pretty sick with the fights.
I think if I had to pick one best fight though, it would be Naruto versus Pain. Spoilers, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Like that.
Which one? Like when they first meet up and he's like sage moded out of his mind.
Yeah, Sage mode. That's the only time they fight.
Yeah.
They don't fight again.
I'm tripping, but
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
That-
only
yeah.
yeah.
You're good.
There's only one. Yeah. When he like attacks the fucking village.
I know. I got it.
I was like, huh?
Bro, yeah, no, I got
That
it.
is the best
That's
fight.
Yeah.
like-
What?
It's the one with Hinata, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
With
so
them.
fucking
Mhm.
funny. Just like this massive crater. Nobody is within like a 3-mile radius. And then Naruto goes down and Hinata's like, no!
Okay. Stop talking about the fight. All right.
I already
We don't
said
gotta
it.
get
Shit was
specifics
so-
into
I
it.
already-
The pan up and you just see his fucking eyes and they're just orange and like frog in the middle and you're just like, yo.
And then the hype
Yo.
like guitar music starts
Yo.
playing. It's like dun, dun, and it's just like I don't
These
fucking
guys
know.
were whooping ass.
That was
That
that
shit
was
like that
that's
was,
the
like,
coolest
move.
fight. Yeah, I think in the show. If we're still on Naruto, my like second favorite fight is from like not Shippuden from the original. I really liked the Zabuza fight. It's
Like the first ones?
yeah the ending one. Like the last one, like the last time they encounter Zabuza, and it's like, you know, Kakashi. And,
If you know, you
yeah,
know.
if you know, you know. But that one
Bro,
is
I
a
don't
hood
remember.
The
classic.
other one that was cool as fuck in original Naruto was the one I don't even remember what her name is. Maybe it's important, but it's the one where like that like one lady who just like traps him in like a ton of mirrors, and they're just like,
Oh yeah, that was
Going
super
crazy.
early on.
yeah, when like Naruto like has to like shield Sasuke with like all those little like needles in him.
Yes.
That shit was like it made my little boy heart go like boom 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 boom.
Uh-huh.
Little
Bro, that shit
boy.
was cool.
That shit was really good. Dude, just like OG Naruto was so fucking good. Yeah.
I think the Naruto Gara one gets.
Yeah, Gaara Rock Lee was pretty
Ooh, shit.
unrelated.
Gaara's
No, not
such
Gaara-
a fucking
not Gaara
cool
Rock
character.
Lee. Gara Naruto.
Gaara Naruto is a good one too. I just
I
think
remember
like
only-
Gaara in that whole like tournament arc was so fucking badass. Just he was
Well, yeah, I mean,
literally
he was
just
broken,
he was
though.
literally
He was,
just
like,
killing
a dude
kids
to
in the
beat.
fucking
He was literally
forest.
one-shotting. Yeah.
He literally was just like sand tombstone, just fucking
He had
crushes
that,
them.
like, that
Gaara
knack.
was hard as fuck though.
He was hard as fuck, yo. And yeah, Gaara Rock Lee was fucking crazy.
The problem is like Rock Lee wasn't really like there wasn't like another moment that was like the same. Like that was like Rock Lee's like peak.
I mean, doesn't he pull out like the gates at some point and do some cool
Oh,
shit?
that's actually true.
Yeah.
Wait, that is actually true. Well, he
I
did
mean,
that
he did pull
against
out the
Gaara.
gates in that one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
he
guess,
like
yeah.
went like all the way to like the 8th and he was like I'm going to die right here.
Yeah. Mike Guy
The
did
only
it best
I
for
remember
sure.
was,
Mike
like-
Guy did it best.
Bro,
That was
Mike
a sick.
Guy-
That was a
He,
sick
like,
part
did
of the
the
fight.
Franken style or whatever.
Oh, the yes, the what is his name? Like it starts with a K, right? The
I don't
bone
remember
dude. The
names.
bone dude. What's his name? He
The
was
bone
really
man?
cool. The one who was
Wait,
like dying of like an illness, and then he did the drunk fight with Gaara. Do y'all remember that character's name? I'm pretty sure it
No.
started with a K
I don't even know who you're
or an
talking
O.
about.
Kimimaru. See, it started with a K. Kimimaru. The one with like the two dots. He's like this really pale white dude, and like his jutsus was like all bones, and like
Remember?
Rock Lee gets like drunk accidentally, and then Guy was like talking about it. He was like, there was one time like we couldn't hold him back, and he like destroyed this fucking store, and like he couldn't like control him because like he got drunk. He's like a master of like the drunken fist apparently. Like he goes like extremely hard for like no reason. So he gets like really drunk and fights like this really cool bad guy in like the show. And like it gets pretty like intense. Like it goes to the death for almost both of them. But unfortunately, like that character, is dying of an illness, so like his potential wasn't really reached. But I think Kimimaru was like a really cool character for the time that he was there.
Bro, I think the hardest Naruto fight has to be Chunin exam, where it's Sakura versus that one girl who like has like also no powers, where they're just literally just like punching each other with like nothing behind it. That shit was so good. It goes on for like 2 episodes for no reason, and then they both punch each other at the same time and both just faint.
Sakura does have one really good fight. The fight with the puppet dude, what's his name?
Sasori?
Yeah, Sasori. That was a good fight. That was like the point where I thought like Sakura was gonna actually like, matter. But then she
Oh my
never
God.
did anything cool after that fight.
She was just like that supporting role character. She's like, I'm gonna heal everyone, but Naruto's gonna help me do it. And it was like, all right, cool.
Uh-huh.
She was building up to be like a genuine badass character,
Mhm.
and then there was like that one scene where she went to go heal everyone, and then it's just like after that, like you never saw her again because every
Yeah.
time it panned over to her, she was just like, "I'm still healing you guys."
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Hidan,
Yeah,
the immortal guy
with
whose
like
whole
the scythe
yeah, he had
thing?
the
Yeah.
scythe, and his whole strategy was to just hit you once, get your blood, and then just sacrifice you, and then you would just
Yeah.
die immediately. So if you got hit, you were just dead.
Mhm.
That fight with was it Orochi? Is it Orochimaru? No, who's the shadow guy?
Oh,
The skinny shadow guy. He was
um
he was with
I don't know
Ino.
what you're
I don't
talking
know
about.
why I can't think about it. It's like with an S, I think. The Shadow Jutsu guy, the really smart one.
Yeah.
Um,
What is his
it was with
name?
his
Talking about
dad,
like
right?
the ally dude, right? Like the one who can like send a shadow out to like grab people.
Yes,
Yeah.
Shikamaru. See,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
thinking like the first letter of the name, and I can't. Yeah.
Maru. Yeah, that fight was actually so cool. I don't know why that one sticks out to me, but it was just like it was just a solid fight. You got the strategy, never get hit, and then he's immortal, so you can't kill him, so you have to figure out something.
Mhm.
And Shikamaru, like the fucking big brain god,
Yep.
just perfect. Perfect fight for that guy.
What about something off Naruto?
Yeah, I
Because
was
I think
about to
we've
say.
established
Yeah.
that Naruto has
Mhm.
some good ass fights.
It does. It
So any
does.
other just show in general that you're like, this show has some
Let
good
me
ones.
tell you one show that I think has some of the best fights, like, and like for the amount of fights that there are. All right, Yu Yu Hakusho. All right, I think
They
it
were pretty cool.
has the best tournament arc for like fights that I've like ever seen. Like the demon tournament arc where they just are like going down and like fighting all these different like teams of fucking demons. Like that shit is like goes so hard. Like there's just like random fucking characters like left and right like that aren't like main antagonists whatever, but like they're just like these badass like they got a name for themselves. They're like explaining it, and then just like and they're all like so unique and like strong, and then you're seeing like all the main characters like fighting all these like really badass people, and they're pulling out like max like they're pulling out like all their abilities. Like some of them are like forcing them to go all out, and then it's just like
They're going
it's
Super Saiyan
so
too.
fucking yeah. All the side character fights slap so hard, like oh my god. And then it builds up, and then you get to the fucking end, and it's like the fucking grand finals, and it's like, dude, that shit's fucking crazy. Just like all the characters, like Hiei, uh, he's so fucking cool. Like Kurama, and then fucking
What's the dude with like the fucking like pompadour, like the orange?
yeah, that's what's his fucking name? Starts with a K.
I don't know. He was weak as fuck. I did not like him. He was butt.
He
But
was like a cool guy
Triple
though,
High
good
dude was hard
friend.
as fuck. The
Yeah,
fucking the little like light beam gun was hard. The fucking like thorn dude was also
that's
hard.
Kurama, and yeah, Hiei's the one that's like the Sasuke inspiration. If y'all haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho, it's like an older anime, but the writer of Naruto said Sasuke was inspired by Hiei. They're like kind of like similar, like edgy, like dark,
He
like
also
super
reminds me of like
strong.
Killua.
Yeah, and Kilowog, but that's the same writer of Hunter x Hunter.
Oh,
So
I see.
it makes sense. Yeah, the guy who wrote Yu Yu Hakusho wrote Hunter x Hunter
Do
as
you
well.
even really like Yu Yu Hakusho, man?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't finish it, but I did
Really?
watch it. I'm like you with Code Geass, where I was like, it could end here.
Yeah.
I did the same thing after that tournament arc with Toguro brothers. I stopped for a while, but then I came back to it. And let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you a couple fights that I liked from it. All right, so first off, Yusuke versus younger Torugo, or Toguro. That's like the end of like the demon like fight arc, like the big like buff dude fighting the main character. That one goes so fucking hard. One I liked a little bit more, honestly, was after that one, which is why I'm really glad that I finished it because there's the next one of the big antagonists towards the end, or I guess he's like the middle one. Is his name's Sensui, and he's like what the main character was like before the main character like filled that role, and he's like this super strong like badass dude. But that fight is really cool too, like there's like a big plot twist with that character too that like kind of like catches me off guard and like it was I don't know the dynamic of it was cool. And then one of the tournament ones I liked was one with Hiei. I had to look it up because I didn't remember the bad guy, but Hiei versus the bad guy's name was like Bowie or whatever. That one went fucking crazy hard as well. I don't know if y'all remember, but like it's just like I don't know, all the characters are just so fucking cool. And it's just like all they do is fucking box. It's crazy. Um,
I love older show fight scenes.
yeah, that's a.
Because they don't have the animation to do like anything crazy, so they just have to rely on like having like clean looking graphics and just smooth and like fancy fights, you know?
Just like badass, like.
The character design was
poses.
hard as fuck, though. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I haven't even seen the show and I know that.
Ethan, did you have any other shows? I have one more, but I'll let someone else talk for a second.
One more for what?
For like my top fight, because I kind of talked about all mine except like one
Oh man,
that I
can't
do
even,
want to mention.
I don't even know if there's another show that I mean I guess the final fight in the Dota anime, that one was pretty good. But I don't want to spoil that because that is a massive spoiler. Just talking about it.
I see. I haven't seen Demon Slayer, so I don't know how that one is.
The one that I put was Kizu Monogatari, which is like this series of 3 movies from Bakemonogatari, which is like kind of a separate thing, but they're like prequels, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen Bakemonogatari, so I don't know. But essentially it's like vampires, I guess you could call it. But the way it's animated is just super pretty, and like all 3 movies are just like back to back, and there's just some banger fights. You know, I don't really know what else there is to say. If you haven't seen it, you could just look up Kizu Monogatari. Some of like the gifts will just you could just see for yourself. There's like a popular one of like one of the vampire dudes like walking in the sunlight for the first time. He just starts burning. It's like, when like anime, like there's like cliche scenes where like everything goes black and white and it's just like pencil like cross hatched and they're just like, I don't even know.
They're like going
Do you guys know
sicko
what I'm
mode.
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like going crazy and it
Yeah.
just like goes like black and white and it's like just these like super, I don't know, like blurry like little lines everywhere. It's kind of like that where it's like, I don't know, it's animated really well. I remember I watched all 3 in a row. I thought they were really cool. The fights had a lot of weight to them, a lot of speed, just clean, hard.
All right, I wanna give an honorable mention to Jujutsu Kaisen. Towards the end, there's this sick Megumi fight with like this bridge demon. If you haven't seen it, that one fucking blew my mind. I like that fight a lot, and like any fight with Goro. But let me mention this one fight from My Hero Academia for everyone who hasn't seen it. So in the 4th season, there's a fight with Lemillion, the guy who just like phases through objects and shit and gets naked. And Overhaul. All right, Brandon, hear me out. That fight is one of the best anime fights like I've ever seen, bro. You have to like, you would have to, dude, Lemelian, dude. No one talks about this shit, but like,
I wonder
you
why.
have to. It's because people stopped watching it after like a certain point. But if you get through season 4, that fight is just like, I wish like y'all could relate. It's just like I wish you knew because like you're quick to judge like My Hero and shit, but like
No, come on.
that fight was just so
Like,
it was just executed so well. No, no, no. I don't want to hear it. All right, talk about something else. Obviously, I'm just stating the hot take, I guess, but that fight is like one of the best I've seen recently. It's very memorable.
How about we move to a different topic?
yeah, something else. We're talking about things that are memorable to us. Fight scenes, this and that.
What a segue.
But yeah, just in general, how about we just talk about some stuff that's just memorable from your past? When you look back on like your childhood, what are some like your favorite games that you remember just like playing, even if they were dog shit? Like I have some of mine that are just like pretty bad. Like wouldn't call them gems or anything, but just
Mm-hmm.
like the memories that you have like attached to them, just bring them up a couple levels.
I'm breathing in. I'm ready to say it.
Say it.
Go
Fossil.
for it. Oh, fossil
Man. Right out
fight.
the gate. Anyone in chat play Fossil Fighters as a kid? Ooh,
Even if you didn't, I'm hyped for you, man.
ooh. I
Now,
tried to play that game and I couldn't because it was just so obviously made for
yeah,
kids.
yeah. I was gonna say if you never grew up playing it, don't try. It's not one of those games. Yeah, you definitely missed out.
There's no
You
replayability.
can't go back and be like, I'm 21. Let's play this game. It's like made for children. But if you
Essentially,
grew up and it was your era, damn.
essentially what
Wait.
the game was that it was like Pokemon, but with dinosaurs, and the way that you caught the Pokemon or the dinosaurs was that you would have to go to these little fossil sites, these little dig sites, go dig up a fossil, and then you would have to clean it, and you would have to like blow off dust and stuff using like the DS microphone. You'd have to wipe it off. And
Like different tools to like chisel them.
the better you cleaned it, the better and like the more stronger the dinosaur would be. And so you'd have to collect 4 of these. You had to get like the head, the arms, the head, the body, whatever, like all the limbs and shit. And then you go to this other place and then you put it together. And you could just get this badass looking dinosaur. You could be a carnivore, you could be a herbivore, an omnivore.
A herbivore?
Yeah,
The H is silent.
an herbivore.
Yeah.
But look, man, it doesn't matter. You missed out if you didn't play it.
I guess so. I guess so.
I step away, but I 100% agree. That game was hard as fuck.
That game was incredible.
No doubt, no
There
doubt.
was this one scene that, as a kid, I remember I crushed on it so hard. Maybe Pato remembers it. Do you remember you remember the girl, right?
Hmm.
Do you remember the scene where like it's like a little romance? It's like a little baby kid romance. Like the girl's like, "I like you," and there's like a little heart emoji that pops up above her head. Dude, I caught feelings for that girl so
No, I,
fast.
I don't doubt it. She was bad as hell. Yeah, I'm sure
She
like
was bad.
8-year-old me was crushing.
I was like, "Oh my god, she likes me," and I'm like sitting in like my mom's car, fucking driving to HEB or something. I'm like,
Damn, you got butterflies in your stomach and everything.
dude, oh.
Still
I
thinking
wanted
about
I
it.
wanted to replay that game just to
Just to
relive
get to
that,
that moment.
just to get
Yeah,
to
for
that
sure.
memory. Yeah.
You gotta save like right before it happens, and then that way you just have it. You're feeling down, you're feeling bad. You just pop
One.
open the DS, you load that save, you hear those words. She's like, "I think I kind of like you." You close it, you load it up again. You just like save state it over and over.
If you look in my search history, you will see fossil fighters kissing.
Love scene.
Yeah, in my search history.
You know,
Dude.
I
we've all
watched
been
a
there. We've all
YouTube
been there.
video of it.
We could
And
talk about that after we get through our list, but just like childhood crushes of like fictional characters. Because I'm sure I had one of those. I'll have to think
oh,
about it, but I'm
absolutely.
sure I had some
I
of those that
already
like
know who I'm
equally as
gonna
bad.
say for that.
I
But
mean, you just gave your answer. What do you mean?
I have another one. I have
Oh,
multiple.
All right,
damn.
we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it.
Come on, man.
I'd have to think. We're on the childhood game
That's
topic.
that scene was like nothing. It was basically just like a heart, and I think it was like, oh, I can't wait to hang out with you
It
or
was like
something.
it was like when you put like dolls together and make them kiss. You're just like, you know, just like a little heart emoji, and it's like, I love you.
That show was tight though.
No, I agree. Fossil Fighters was a cool ass game.
I had a big dinosaur.
I bet you did. I believe you.
He was badass.
So that's awesome, man.
It was very awesome. So anyone else?
Yeah, I put a couple on my list. I put like 7 games, but we
That's
don't have to
not
talk about all of them.
not a couple, man. That's a lot.
That's a lot of games.
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about all of them. You know, I just grew up playing like Advanced Wars, which was like this Game Boy game where you just have like tanks and like guns and shit like that. It's essentially Fire Emblem without if they weren't anime characters and they were just like weapons. It was like that. You know, just a little classic. Another game I grew up playing was Chrono Trigger, just a nice JRPG.
10
That game, yeah, still goes hard. I would replay it like today and it would still bang super hard. That game was a lot of replayability just because like you could combine like you had more little members in your party than you could fit on your team at a time. So it was like about like combining different people. And then there's like a second aspect where if you use moves together, they like create a new move on its own. So like you
Whoa.
take some robot dude and you take this frog knight and you combine them. And now like the robot calls down lightning as the frog is doing like a cross slash. And now you have like this like lightning imbued sword that you're using. You're like you use magic and you use this and like this tidal wave comes and you freeze it and it's just like you combine all these little things. And if you're playing it blind, it's super fun to just like mess around and like make new teams, just like try out new moves and be like, holy shit, that was really cool. The music in it is tight as fuck. The art is really solid, even though it is like pixelated. It's just banger game, you know, classic. And then you know something equally as good, Kirby Squeak Squad. This was a DS game of a Kirby game where this mouse like stole a cake or something. I don't really remember what the plot was, but it's just Kirby. It's just like straight up Kirby. But I didn't grow up playing like Dreamland or anything, so I just remember playing this game, and then I ended up like losing it in like my couch cushions or something, and I got really bummed out. But I think about it often. And I'll do one more before I switch back, and then I can close this out. But Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Dude, that
I
game
don't-
was fire.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't expect anyone to play that game. That
Dude,
game was insane.
Fire.
That game was so good for no reason. Like that was like
I want
on
to play
paper
it.
that is dog shit, but it was so cool. The best part was like the roster was kind of stacked. It was a little bit nutty because for some reason they just had Final Fantasy like characters in it. Like you can play as like Black Mage and like Moogle and like I forget what they're called, like the cactoids or whatever, like the fucking little like posing cactus. But you could just essentially you make a team of like 3 characters and you play against 3. So it's just like
It's basketball.
3-on-3 basketball, but it's all like Mario characters. And so you got like little like super moves and all this shit. It's like you're playing. It's like your Kuroko, right? And you're just playing basketball. But my team was iced out. It was like a shy guy. It was Black Mage, and it was like the cactus dude. Bro, we were netting threes.
I think I was like a fucking Mario Luigi type of guy. Just like going with the
That was
OGs.
so lame.
It was the OGs, man. You gotta respect the Mario, you
No,
know?
I don't
He's
respect
a
that.
hero. He's a hero, and you know,
Thank
when I was a kid,
Thank
I
you.
wanted
Thank
to be the hero, so I would pick Mario.
Well,
I
how
don't know.
about you, Derek? How about you? You know, we bonded a lot. Me and Ethan apparently played the same games, but
Yeah, apparently I did not
Thank
play like
God.
any of those games, but yeah.
So that we had the same birthday.
For me, my favorite game, like as a kid, like growing up, was definitely Halo. I started playing like Halo 2 and
as
Halo
a
3.
kid,
I respect
Yeah,
that, bro.
oh,
Halo.
no wonder you're so violent.
like in
Jesus.
elementary school, I was playing when Halo Reach came out, I played the shit out of that game, but I guess
Dude,
I was like
Halo
a little bit
Reach is
older.
such a good
That was
game.
my
It
favorite
comes-
Halo, like high key though. The multiplayer was just like peak level
Dude,
in that game.
the amount of time I put into Forge mode on that game is insane.
Forge mode was literally godlike. Like they did
Dude,
that
it was
shit
so good.
fucking perfect, dude. Like that's like Minecraft hours you put in like Halo. Like that's the type of
Yeah.
shit you'd be building shit just to like fight and have fun with your friends and do all this custom shit. And then you
Mhm.
could download maps that people made. Like,
Download map, you would host
oh my god.
those 16-man lobbies of just like what is it? I forget the actual name, but you're driving around the track and there's like zombies on the road. Fat Man, fucking what are other ones? There's like some weird schoolyard ones we would try to do. So many good
See,
games,
look,
man.
Brandon already knows I was goated on Reach. The amount of like hours I put in that game was crazy. I was like one of like the highest like possible levels, and like ranking up in that game was like a thing. Like it's not just like anyone can do it. Like you'd have to put like a year in to get to like the
Griff Ball.
max. Like Griffball was fun, but I guess like off of Halo, like little kid, like before I started playing Halo, like on my Game Boy, I played Pokemon a lot, and I liked watching like the show and the movies. I played Spyro on my PlayStation 2. I played Mega Man on my PlayStation 2. I played Street Fighter Third Strike a lot with my dad. He was really good at that game. He got me onto Metroid as well. I played a couple
Bro,
of
I was gonna
those.
say I'd never played Halo because I wasn't allowed to play like M-rated games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
But
literally that.
I did get to play Metroid Prime Hunters for the Nintendo DS. And I found this kid at my daycare who also had it, so we could do local like multiplayer. That was the most intense shit ever. If you haven't played it, just look up Metroid Prime Hunters. It looks so dog shit and it was so much fun. You like traverse this like small ass, well not small ass map, but like you just go around, you just like are shooting. It's on the DS, so like the screen's small as shit, but you get like power ups and you can like
This before.
turn into a ball and like get to different parts of the map. But when you're playing against people, bro, it was life or death, no cap.
Damn, that's crazy.
Derek, you
So
might
that was my Halo.
this one.
Huh?
You might be able to relate to this one because you were an Xbox boy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember playing Castle Miner Z?
Yes.
Wasn't that game so dog shit? That game was so bad.
Bro.
Essentially, Pato, because there's no fucking
I'm
way
looking at it.
this is. It's the Minecraft clone before Minecraft. And
What do you mean before Minecraft?
so Minecraft was out, but it wasn't on Xbox at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were a kid who wanted to play Minecraft, you would have to play Castle Miner. But Castle Miner was essentially just like creative mode. But Castle Miner Z, that was like an actual survival. It was zombies,
I'm seeing some guns.
dragons, and guns.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have to just play fucking. It was essentially just Minecraft, but with
Are these
guns.
like the Connect little figures? What is this?
It
Look
was.
like these.
Oh, dude, the game was not a good-looking game. I'll tell you that. But it was on the Xbox Live like indie game thing, which essentially was like 70-cent games that you would sell. So they were like dummy cheap, but for some reason this game got like insanely popular, and they even made a port to PC. And
We gotta get on that soon.
Yo,
I don't
hold up. Are we trying to pull up to the Discord and play some Castle Miners?
Castle Miners Z.
Are we about to run it up on the Discord tonight? What's up?
terrible
What's up?
experience.
Sheesh. If you're not on the Discord, pull up under the description. There's a little link there. If you want to join the Discord, everyone's welcome. We have a good time playing games there.
I don't know if I'd be down for that tonight.
Yeah, maybe not tonight, but or maybe not at all. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's not worth the $4. I don't know.
I already own this.
That's hilarious. Oh man.
Alright, I'm gonna finish out my list. Like I said, I wrote down 7 for some reason.
Yeah.
But these are all kind of still bangers. Like I would almost play them if they didn't look so like bad, like if the graphics hadn't aged like this.
Mm-hmm.
But first one, Mega Man, Star Force, I think it's called. It's like Mega Man, right? We all know it. It's like the platformer. This was like this RPG that they made just using like Mega Man
Oh, I
like
remember you telling me about that.
license or whatever. I've talked about it a lot because I'm so passionate. But essentially, like I don't know how to describe it. If you look up a picture, it might help. But like top screen had like 3 rows and there were like enemies on them, and you like build a deck out of like Mega Man related items and like weapons. And then you just like move from track to track, and you can like interact using your cards and shit. I don't really know, but I played the shit out of it because it was like one of the only games I had, and it was tight as fuck. I had this wholesome ass experience where I had to go to like a city over when I was like 9 or something like that, maybe like 8, and we were waiting like all day in this coffee shop, and there was just one kid who was next to me, and he was also playing on his DS, and he was playing the same game but like the different version, because it was like Pokemon where there's like red and blue. So like I had like red and he had blue, and so we just started playing together, and he was like teaching me all this stuff about like the decks, and it was just like hours just playing this game and a good ass time. So I just have good memories with that game. The next game that I remember playing when I was like in middle school was The World Ends With You. This is like a Square Enix like RPG type game, but it's not like turn based at all. It's like super interactive. Also, the like art style of it is really cool. I thought the story was sick. I was also just like in middle school, so like everything was cool. But this game, you essentially like fought enemies on one screen with your stylus, and you equip like pins that you can use, and so you have to like draw certain like figures or like do actions on the bottom screen, and then with the D-pad, you're putting in these like combos on the top screen of like your partner who's also fighting, and you're fighting the same enemy. So you're like drawing shit on the bottom while you're also like putting like up, up, left, left, right, up, left, or whatever to like do whatever. So you're like multitasking. It's just super sick. I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it because I don't know if anyone else cares as much as I do. But that game,
I played like the first week of that game.
what do you think from an outside perspective? What
It
do you
was
think?
actually a really good game. I just never got around to finishing it. But I will say, if you want to play that game, it is a good game. You can actually get it on your phone. They sell it on your phone, on Switch. I think that's it. But you
I
can.
don't. I've never played the ports, so I don't know how good they are.
I know that supposedly the phone port is really good, but I played on the Switch and it was just like okay. I would say probably try it on the phone because the Switch
Yeah.
screen is just too big for touchscreen. Like
I love that game. Like I
I'll right now.
super love that game.
How am I supposed to hit the middle of the screen? Like this is such
Yeah.
a
Oh, I see.
I'm in bed and I need to get my guy from here to over here. And what am I gonna do? Fucking pass off, alley oop that shit? You can't do that. Oh shit!
Holy
What
fucking
the fuck?
shit, dude.
What?
Snipes.
Money long.
Snipes, bro.
Holy shit!
Snipes, I'm gonna cry, dude. Snipes.
God
Holy
damn.
fucking shit. 50 subs. 50 fucking subs. Snipes. Thank you so
Holy
much, Snipes.
fuck.
I can't even. Holy shit, man.
That's insane.
You are
That is crazy.
You are so fucking amazing, man.
Where we cashed out on the Dogecoin.
Dude, did you get the 420 Dogecoin fucking peak cashed out? Dude, oh my god. You're I don't even know what to say. Snipe,
crazy.
thank you so much, man.
The clickbait.
I can't even.
Video, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
think
we all
I'm
got
smart enough?
like pog. We all got a pog. That way we can take the thumbnail.
There we go. Oh my god.
There's the thumbnail, bro. There's the thumbnail.
Holy shit, that's insane.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Oh my god.
damn,
Snipes.
who cares about the world ends with you,
Yeah,
man?
yeah.
Fuck.
Oh man.
Damn.
Look at the.
I want to thank him, but like it's not even me. Like it's you.
Hey, we're still here. We're still
No,
here.
we're
like,
we're splitting that. We're splitting that.
we are. That's a homie right there.
But shit, dude, that's
Well
fucking.
worth the 50.
Thank you for the support, man. That means a lot, man. Appreciate it.
That's huge.
Um,
Oh
damn,
my
look at
god.
the sub.
Before
The
we
names just
before we
going
just
on.
forget about it.
Bro, I don't
Last
even
game
know it.
was Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. That's a good game.
I know some of them.
All right. We can just keep going. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. For
Yeah,
the next
whoa.
8 minutes straight and then 2 hours.
You
Damn,
know,
that's- Yeah, how do we talk about anything after that, man?
I
Unheard
just
of.
like upped everything.
So, what's y'all's favorite Smash game?
Wait, hold on. Wait, before we switch, actually, there was some
Oh, yeah,
games that I wanted to mention that I'd feel like wrong not mentioning. So
Okay.
obviously, you're already talking about Smash. We'll talk about it in a second. But Super Smash Bros. Brawl, like, got me into like. That was my favorite game on the Wii, probably. But there was a lot of games I liked on the Wii. So like, Guitar Hero was like a banger.
I was a Rock Band fan.
Did y'all ever play DJ Hero though? The one with the turntable?
I've seen that, but I've never played it.
I was
It
like, for some reason, I was just like godlike at that game. Like I could play expert on that game. Like it was fucking crazy, just because I was such a big like hip hop fan. Like the remixes were cool on that game. But
Bro, speaking of Brawl though, I remember that was like also my first Smash game. I wanted that game so bad, but I didn't have like money, and my parents were like not about to like one get me a Wii and two spend like $60 on a game. So I remember every single fucking day, whenever I would see like looking back, it was not even like a shooting star. It was literally just like a plane. But I would look up at the sky like at night and I would just wait until I saw like a shooting star and I would wish upon a shooting star that I could get Smash Bros. Brawl so I could play it. And I did that so many fucking times. I finally got it, and then I played the shit out of it. Like I played it so many times, even though it was like just a single player. I played like the Subspace Emissary so many times.
It was actually a good single player though.
It was cool.
It was really good. I guess we could just talk about Brawl for a little bit. I think we all played that game as a kid. It was just so fun because there's like
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I played it like a kid would play it, where I didn't know what the C stick was.
I played
Exactly.
sideways Wii remote on that shit,
I played
dude.
with the nunchuck. I played nunchuck.
Oh, you were a nunchuck?
You had to
I
let it
didn't
jump
like
on the little nunchuck.
I didn't like the nunchuck.
Yeah, I didn't like the nunchuck either. I was
It kept
definitely.
showing me as a kid because I was like,
Yeah.
"What? How do you use the stick? That makes no sense. The D-pad covers left and right."
Yeah, I just thought the buttons were weird, like using it that way, because you had like the
I
one and
was
two,
the
like the
same.
A and B, so it was just like easier for me to.
When
like,
you
do
put
that.
in that many hours, you just kind of get it. You know, I don't know. Maybe we get it
I
one
suppose so.
day.
Dude, if you come to my house and you whip out the nunchuck playing Brawl, like I would not have it. I would not let you
because I have an advantage. You admit it.
Well, no. I'd just be pissed off because why are you in my house using a nunchuck when we
Well,
are
first of all, I'm in your house. Yeah, that's like the first question.
doors over there? It's actually my closet door, but they don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
What about Melee? Let's talk a little bit about Melee, and then we'll ease into Ultimate because I feel like you guys are not gonna have as heavy as an opinion on Melee as I have.
I've got some things. I can.
I'll
I'm educated on Melee. Look, we already have some Melee stands in the chat. Melee, the
they're
only
waking
good
up.
Smash game. That's crazy.
Damn, everyone in the chat is a sub now. That's so hype.
That is so hot. Welcome to the fucking. What do I even call my subs? Do I call my subs anything?
Bro, you haven't gotten subs. You haven't thought this far. We'll think about it.
The chill boys? I don't know. we have like the chill thing going on, you know? Something maybe. We'll figure
what
it
was
out.
what was your first point for Melee?
So
I'm talking about Ethan.
Ethan. Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying you guys should go because I'm gonna have the hardest hitting points because I played it the most.
Oh, okay. Well, Melee was like the second game that I got into. I played Brawl, and I played Brawl for like maybe like 2 years or something like that. I never did like anything competitive at all. I never even played like online. I just played the single player. I played it with the fucking Wiimote nunchuck, so I didn't have like a GameCube controller. I didn't know what like the C stick even was. I didn't know how to grab. Like I was not with it at all. Then when my friends started playing Melee, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and so I downloaded it and I started getting into it. I bought a GameCube controller and I started playing Melee, and those are like really like the only two that I've ever been in. I've opening week of Smash Ultimate, I went to Smash Ultimate tournaments, but that was like after I'd been into Melee. As a game, I don't really know what like parts you want me to focus on. I think it's fun as fuck. It's like the fastest one out of all of them. It's also the most like technical. There's like at times like single digit like frame inputs that like you have to just get in order to just like have a chance at all. Like you have to learn how to like L cancel and like wave dash.
Board hopping in general.
Yeah, it's like shuffling, like short hop fast fall, like landing with like an aerial into like an L cancel. There's just like a ton of like little shit that takes so long. Like I still can't consistently like wave shine or like do nearly anything like out of shine. But it's a fun ass game.
Once you get that stuff, man, it opens up such a huge world of
I
opportunity.
remember when I learned how to fucking wave dash for the first time, and I was just like, the door is open. Like it's over.
It's over. I know how to wave dash. Play the game.
Yeah, for me, Melee was like the last Smash game like I was like introduced to, I guess. Like, so as like a kid on the Wii, I played Brawl a lot, and then I didn't get a Wii U, so I like didn't even know like Smash 4 existed. And then whenever the Switch was coming out and they announced Ultimate, I like saw like the roster and I saw like all these characters. Like I played games like Mega Man like was like the one that kind of like piqued my interest the most because like I loved playing that game as like a kid, and I was like, damn, he's in Smash, but he was in Smash 4. I just didn't know. But like I wanted Ultimate. I wanted the one for the Switch. So that was the only reason I bought a Switch too, was to play Smash, just because like I started watching like the competitive scene a bit and like thought it was really cool. And like when I was like a kid, like I've always been like a competitive gamer. So like all the games I play, it's usually like to compete. So I would like just fuck up like all my family, like maining Ike in Brawl, and just like that was me. I was an Ike main,
Ether.
but yeah, but yeah, I played Ultimate. I got into that. I started like trying to like pick up like tech skill and play it competitively, and then I'm friends with y'all, right? So obviously y'all two and Gavin are coming up at me like, oh, you play Ultimate? Well, there's this game that's like superior competitively. It's called Melee. You know that one. The GameCube one, the one that's like 50 years old. You know that one. So I downloaded the fucking Slippy fucking net player.
Well,
Like,
no.
well, I guess that
You
wasn't.
went to you got your Melee disc, and then you got the ROM from it.
I mean, yes, I got my Melee
Yeah,
disc. Got the.
I was really confused there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we just started playing, Melee on the GameCube, pulling up. We ended up going to like a couple like tournaments, like whenever I was like super new to the game, just to like go for like fun, right? I went with y'all, and it was fun. And then I think I went to a Melee tournament before I even went to like an Ultimate tournament.
That's weird.
Y'all kind of
Actually,
because y'all introduced me to like going to tournaments, I guess. Maybe that's when I started trying to do it. No, I don't know. But yeah, so because that was the same place they had Ultimate tournaments. Because yeah, I went there. I was like, they do Ultimate tournaments here. They're like, yeah, like on Thursdays or some shit. So then I went to a few of those, and then COVID happened, and it kind of like fucked up my like competitive like name. Like I was building a name. They,
Yeah,
they
now
were they were
I'm
scared,
scared.
They were scared. They
Yeah.
were like, "Who's this new guy just like coming out of nowhere?" Like,
like, huh?
shit.
Who is this?
Yeah, it was the opposite at Melee tournaments for me. It was like no one remembered a goddamn thing. I went for like 3 weeks in a row, and I think I went like 0-6 total, and I was still like smiling so hard because like this is still so fun. Like just playing friendlies with like a bunch of people who like love the game. that whole like scene is so like positive because like when you think about it, you're playing like a game that's like 20 fucking years old, like on like a random like fucking weekend in like this like arcade, and you're all just like playing on CRTs with like these old ass like controllers that like
Some dudes in there are like 32, and you're like fresh out of high school, like, yeah, let's go.
like, you just play for like the love of the game. It's like there's something so like just pure, you know, about the whole melee scene. It was just like it was just a nice ass environment. So like even when you lost, which you usually would, it was just like I don't know.
That was a good game.
It was so real nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game.
It's a good
I
time.
got into it. I got everyone in the friend group into it. I started playing when I was like 14. I was a doc kid. There's like a documentary that came out. I saw it and I was like, whoa, this is super cool. I want to play this game.
The classic
So-
Melee documentary.
Back then,
Now you will try.
online was like not a thing at all. Like it was essentially like 30 people just sitting in like a chat room.
Playing
that-
like on the Panthers ladder, yeah.
Yeah, playing on Anth's Ladder. Way back in the day, I remember I asked people, like, I remember I posted on Reddit, like, what's the difference between a dash attack and, like, a shuffled nair? Because, like, they look the same. And I got so much flack for it because I just didn't know. And I don't know, I just stuck with the game. I was like, guys, I beat level 9 AI. Am I ready to play online? Stuff like that, just super newbie. And then I just kind of played it just over the years, and it was fun. The Wii U version came out. Didn't really play it. I played it a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, this game sucks. It's not Melee. So I stopped, and then Ultimate came around. Played a decent bit of Ultimate, and I thought it was fun, but it wasn't Melee. And then I started hanging out with Derek, right? And Derek is the ultimate head, right? And I started playing Ultimate, and I come around now. Now I think Ultimate is actually like a really good game. And now like in the past like year or so, I've just gradually stopped playing Melee, partially because my hands hurt playing it, but also like I don't know, like playing games like Street Fighter, like more typical like fighting games. It kind of opened my eyes to a lot of like flaws that Melee has. And I honestly think right now, like if I was to pick which one I'd rather play, like I'd probably rather play Ultimate just because there's just cool stuff going on in Ultimate. Not that it doesn't happen in Melee, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Ultimate right now it's just in. It's just in. I am a sinner for sure, but you would
Can I
still
try and guess what the flaws of Melee are in your eyes?
sure.
Is one of them too many confirms, where it's like combos are like confirmed from, let's say like you get a grab, it's like a confirmed 36% because you can like forward throw regrab into like pivot tipper or whatever on Marth, and it's like that's like confirmed.
I mean, this
And then I feel like-
confirms in Ultimate too.
Yeah, I was gonna say no.
I feel like everything in Melee is almost like a confirm,
At
like to a
this
certain
point in
extent.
the meta, yeah, like certain moves don't have it, but most of them do because it's just so developed. But I would say like the biggest thing for me is that Melee is like such a fast-paced game that like it's literally impossible to react to certain options, right? You cannot react to a fox running at you and then shuffling there. You can't react to the shuffle there. You just have to know it's coming. And like that's kind of a flaw in my eyes because it's like I don't know, man. It's just
It
weird.
relies more on like game sense and like actual
Yeah,
skill.
you have to like get a read on the opponent essentially at like all times, and it's I don't know. Playing Ultimate, you kind of slow down, but it's still like it's still that same pace and still the same mind games, but it's just like slowed down enough to where you can actually like absorb it a bit more.
Mhm.
Melee is still fun as fuck, and no game will compare to that game's movement. Don't get me wrong. But I think in terms of a fighting game, I think Ultimate might be just a little bit better of a fighting game.
Mhm.
In the eyes of like which one is more like traditional
Yeah.
compared to like Street Fighter.
Yeah, the big flaw with Ultimate that like a lot of people give flack for, and I like get it, is like the input like buffer. It's a little
hate it,
it's a
but
little
it's just
too much.
to it.
Yeah. And like the only reason they did it was to like make the game like easier for people like to do combos and shit, because you can like kind of like buffer it. You don't have to be as like tight on your input, but like there's like certain characters where it like hurts a lot. Like when I played Greninja, like if you wanted to like do a full hop into like a like forward air, because that's like one of the confirms, you'll do dash attack into like full hop forward air or like down tilt into it. It will like, you have to do it so fast that you might buffer like a short hop when you want to do a full hop, or like, or maybe the other way around. Let me think about buffer for a second. I want to do this confirm. Yeah, because if you press jump and attack at like the close enough time, it auto does a short hop no matter how hard you press jump, if that makes sense. That's like a mechanic to make short hopping easier for newer players. And if there is a way to turn that off, like if Nintendo like added that, I think that would help. But like I don't know.
Tap jump in Melee.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of like weird like buffer stuff that's in the game that kind of like makes it harder to like fully like, you know, control your it just makes room for like more accidents to happen, I guess.
Yeah, it's still a good game.
But yeah, I like the pace of it. I like the balance of it. None of the characters are like broken to the point where it's like the meta is just only this character or this like three characters. Like the roster's so big that like, and like so balanced. I think you can play like almost like you can play a good amount of the characters are playable in tournament. Robin may not be one of them. Maybe in pools, but like, you know, getting out. But like, there's a lot of, I don't know, Melee. It's like the roster's already so small, and then there's like that like little section of characters that are just like dominating like the meta.
It's like half the cast that you can play though in Melee.
Yeah, I guess. Right.
Yeah, it's like up to like Samus and like Yoshi and like maybe Dr. Mario on the tier list in terms of like who could actually like compete competitively.
I never see them though.
But
when
there
I look
is
at like the big like grand final shit, it's like
oh,
Fox,
yeah,
Falco,
I mean,
Marth,
you
Sheik
can
sometimes.
have like Axis Pikachu though.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's like the
and
exception.
at the same time, like you can still have a good game even if like the viable cast isn't super big. Like in Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3
That's
or
a
2
fun
even.
game, dude.
Dude, that game is insane. But there's like 2 or 3, maybe 4 good compositions, and it's all like 2 characters are the same each time because you pick 3 characters in that game. There's like one guy who just can literally hit you once and then now you're just dead, you just lose. And that's like completely normal. There's a character who has such a good keep out game you could never get in, and somehow people still play that game just because it's like still a fun ass game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's always about like the specific characters that are viable, which I actually do think is a negative in Ultimate because there's too fucking many. Like how was I ever supposed to figure out about Bowser's fucking tough guy buff?
Yeah, I guess that's one thing. I guess it's not a flaw of like the game, but flaw like in like the competitive aspect is you have to like kind of know what the characters can do and like what the like matchup is gonna like play. That's like a big part of it is like, okay, who are they playing? How do like I adapt my like play style to this character's play style? Because yeah, different characters will play different.
I mean, that's normal though that there's
But
like a rock paper scissors type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of information to call at once.
For sure.
We've been at it for 2 hours and 11 minutes now.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about, you know, the things. Will isn't here, so we had to get it all out.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to addictinggames.com. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah,
bangers right there. You know, fancy pants, fucking cool mad games. Fucking. Shout out to those games. Remember we were talking about games that like
oh, like childhood games.
Childhood games, yeah. Addicting
No
Games was goated.
game.
There's this
What
one
were
stick
some
fighter
of
game,
those?
bro. I went crazy
Pop
on
Tropica, maybe.
Pop Tropica.
That was a game for parents who had parents that were too strict on their kids.
Bro, I had to play that game. I remember I got jump scared in one of them. That shit was low key scary.
Nah. But fuck, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up here. This is
We
I'm down to call it.
yeah.
We could
go
but
on for
shouldn't.
days, but there's always next time on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Come back
It was a good time. Cool Math Games was my shit
Next
back in school.
episode will have 100%
It
more
was.
will. So if you're missing out, if your will quota hasn't been met, he did pop in for a second.
He did
but,
make an appearance. You saw the
he did
icon.
Oops.
He was like, "Oh, I meant to go to the text channel, not the voice call." That's probably what happened, I think. But yeah, thank you again so much, Snipes, dude. Like,
Seriously.
for real. Like, I
50,
appreciate
bro.
that. That is completely
lot.
unnecessary. You don't have to do that in my stream. I don't ask anyone to do nothing, but you're just, that's very kind of you. We appreciate that a lot. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Make sure if you're not in the Discord and you want to hang out, play some games, talk, whatever. The link is down there. The link to the YouTube and the podcast is down there next to it. Go sub there. We upload the VODs there, so if you missed some of it, or just want to go back to older ones, there's the other two. We got them up there. So yeah, but that's gonna wrap it up. It was a good time. And,
if you guys, any of you guys that were like watching, interacting in the chat, if you got anything that you want us to talk about, if there's something that you just want to throw out there, you can join the Discord. There's like a podcast topic section. You can just suggest whatever you want. We'll look at it. We'll probably put it in there because every week we do kind of, have to plan last minute what we're going to talk about. So if you want to, give it there beforehand, feel free.
Y'all can control the show. Y'all can make it what y'all want to hear. So yeah, just join the Discord. Like Pato was saying, we made that channel recently. It's called Podcast Topics. Just throw your ideas in there if you want to hear us talk about anything, because we really do talk about anything on this show. I know this episode was literally like anime and video games, but
degeneracy, yeah.
But we'll talk about anything that's going on in like the world if we we'll look it up if we have to. If it seems interesting enough, we'll pick whatever. But yeah, thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you Snipes again for the 50 gifted subs. That's fucking crazy. And yeah, thanks. Yeah, just anyone who watched, anyone who followed, we appreciate all y'all. And yeah, make sure to come back next week on Wednesday. And yeah,
thank y'all for participating in chat. Makes it a lot more fun.
It was a lot of fun seeing what y'all had to say. Yeah, but we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.